with their toilet stains and smell, and we've decided to come with an acid to remove that. We have other range of cleaning detergents, but the toilet bowl is our killer product. We are based in Mafikeng, and if you'd like to get in contact with me, my number is 0711441489. I thank you. Hygienics.
Hygienics. Why does Papa tell you about too much of
Good morning. Dumelang bagolo. Stage fright. My name is Umfimete Sharon Marobe. I'm from Mokwase. I am 31 years old and I am an organic beauty product manufacturer. My aim is to supply game resorts. I don't want to be in retail because I believe that my products are meant for experiences. And when you experience something at a game resort, your mind is cleared. The organic products are made from organic materials, so your herbs, essential oils. My main ingredient is shea butter, which I source directly from Ghana. So it's cheaper because I get it from the source. Shea butter from Ghana in the northern part of Ghana is known to be more nourishing, and it's the A-grade shea butter. So my products range from body scrubs, body butters, bath salts, and I recently launched the hair care range, which has your shampoo, conditioner, hair growth oil, your hair balm, your soap, and the hair detangler. So the name of the company is the Eve Essentials by Shaz, and I make organic products. I'm situated in Momokwase, but I deliver anywhere in the country. Thank you.
Wow. I'm always pleasantly surprised by the amazing work that women are doing. Number 6, number 7. Okay, Lona, and I'm gonna be very strict, Kalona. I'm gonna give you like exactly 1 minute because the others have been allowing them a little bit of leverage. Ke kopa o atamele ge ausi. Come this side. We're already streaming live, so. Yes, oh, absolutely.
Dumelang bagolo. Lebitso la ka ke Neo Mogale. I'm from Neo Entertainment and Film Production. Bagolo ke re la itse gore artist is always be an artist. La ga tsoga phakela wa perform. So before ke simolla ka company ya ka ke kopa go letsa tsankela nyana ka a poem nyana just a little bit. Poem ke tlo buang ka yona bagolo e bua ka bomme. A ke re le bomme ra tlhokofadiwa. And ukra sometimes o batlo etsa business in tatantsa ge wena o ska etsa selo se he etswa ko eng so ka itumela bomme ka tsheko ga re se jarile sefapano se re lefa re tlo ikutlwela ka tsa tsebe so ke tlo go simolla bagolo le bopola ka le bua ka seo sia shele esa Matambe si iswe mbo geni mbo geni. That pain is irresistible. He abused me emotionally and physically. Like his punching bag every second, every moment, every day and night, forgetting that I am a woman. Kimusa dibato talking about the man who is abandoned his family for malicious and drugs abuse. Education is a key to success for his own blood flesh. Tota o tsaya ka tlhaloganyo maikutlo a go iphetola diapoloso o sa pele go le diapoloso. Ke bua gona go keteka ka motho a mosadi ka go bolanoga. Nya ba ga e tsoga le re se sona se ke bokgoni. Nya ba ba mpelegeng bona ba ntumeleditse ke 16 days of activism against women in child abuse. E gona ire mosadi ke mmarona se khatlamela masisi maputa ditšhaba. I am a woman ke mosadi bathong. I am the rock of the ages. Di Bogoto amandla. Thank you. This thing is at the age of 16 years. So, I'm a film director, scriptwriter, is a documentary and no yana kumzazi selega ka shoota drama engwe ba bitsa khumolo khumalo khosi ya tsameka gona no kumzazi. We speak right now ba khulubaka and ke ditsele dilo tsa theater bo contemporary dance bo latini rena le di choreographer tsa spantulas bujwa le tap dance ba khulu. And then on the other side ba khulu gape ke tsa le construction. Ke a leboga ba khulu.
Thank
you ba khulu.
Out now, but moto umufa monwana. Onka siata so give 1 minute. Hafeta umplelo ba tletsa seboko. Ke seboko ne? Waboka. Okay. Liboko. Ya no motho ha ro ba tletsa liboko o tla mo ganetsa o re. So, Ausi, give 1 minute. Okay.
Less than 1 minute.
Less than, okay.
Dumelang bagolo. O buang ke Offense Ditsile from Northwest, but it's actually from company Zanga Suppliers. What we do, we manufacture the bata from scratch. We do bathtubs. So it would be nice if this industry actually at all. So Mutwan introduced into this business. He's a friend of mine. So I do that skill. He say, then he said, no, come read to the bad actually. So it's a nice experience, and then it would be nice if you have more women. So Ragra funding for make sure the patas of Northwest, because Northwest Hahona Motana leaders. Hagizi Funa Motana skills and Marhona Motana skills are the bad. The bathtub, but that's our tap. So the Greg and go CTM. So we do that manually. In Tembisa. Yeah, at Lorcop. So yeah. So it's just the other side. The family quality, the tunete fela khadi berek. So yeah, we do bathtubs. Likangramo 076-910-5426. Thank you.
Ke kopa reba opeleng diatla kaofela ga bona. Emisi ra go amogela. I always do this because I think sometimes we forget when you bring women together for a workshop that talks about public procurement, that talks about opening up opportunities for women, you need to give them the opportunity to market their services at the workshop. I get a friend, o bua le friend ya gago fela. o bo tsamaya o bo boela gae o sa kopana le motho o e leng gore motlhomong ke be a go thusitse go tswetsa pele business ya gago. I get. So this then becomes an opportunity to then say, let me sell my product services. Ha re ka ba le nako gape, I'll take another 5. But that is if we find the time. If we don't find the time, please use the opportunity during tea breaks to go and meet a different person, a person who's a person who's a and tell them about who you are and tell them about your business and sell your products to them. Right? Rajumelan? Okay. So, I'm just waiting for the executive mayor to come back, but let me take this opportunity to welcome you formally. I've already introduced myself, but you know. All right. Okay, no, ki fumani permission ni tetla. Ya gore ki fe ba bang ba e leng gore ba bone gore oh my goodness, this is such a great opportunity. Maybe I was not ready. But now that I see how it works, I have the opportunity to sell my services. Ke bona gona le bontate ba ba tlileng ga le ntate le wena o fila gore le nna ke tlo sala go morago. And you want to sell your services. Guys, we are live streaming. What is the live streamers? They better be live streamers. We are live streaming on all social media platforms. It's Office of the Premier. Today you know, it's such a... But can I like stand here in front of the camera? No? Like behind here, it feels so... Anyway. So Kikopa, two more people before we open up the program. But maybe as those 2 people come to the front, let me give you a quick background. I'm going to call after... Mamangetu Ngonzwe, who's our host for today, the mayor of Moses Kotane. After Aitla Atrobua, I'm going to call my bosses, Bako Presidency, who will just set the scene and tell us, how did this project come about? I think all of you would have seen Bangwadile workshop on women-owned businesses on presidential 40% public procurement program. I think last year, Women's Day, August, the president then said 40% of all public procurement must go into women's hands. Because what was happening? Women were only getting possibly about 5%, if at all, of all of public procurement. 1%. Come on, Northwest. Okay. So we cannot be 51% of the population and then get 1%. I get a little 1%. Okay. Na statistics is like a 5. Mara, the people in the room bang overpower barke 1%. So what we have then seen though, as we were traveling across the countries, we've realized basadi bate, because the biggest excuse as to why especially government is not doing or is unable to do business with government was that bare habayo bomme. And so part of the reason why we are traveling across the country is to check, is it true women own businesses that they don't exist in now? Is it true that we don't have those women who own businesses and who are currently doing business successfully, so that we can include them into the public procurement so that they can be able to procure from government? 1 minute each, woman.
My name is
Ranch from Bakatla Fire. What you find us at shop number 12, Small Industries in Mukhwase. We supply all fire equipment, fire extinguisher, fire suppression. You know that every car, every house, every office need to have a fire extinguisher. The first thing I did in the morning is to look around. I found one, at least is compliant. They need to service it in December. So if you need any of those, shop number 12, Small Industries in Mukhwase. Thank you.
Dumelang bagolo ke Malerato Ntsime go tswa ko Lerkgala ne Morula Mall. Nna product ya ka e tlo e advertisang ka jeko ke furu. Re manufacture furu ya dikgomo, dipodi, dinku, dikolobe. As you know gore ga di season di change dijo tsa diphologolo le tsona di a change. And rona o re kry-a mo 065 685 6835. Ke a leboga bagolo.
Okay. I just want to find out, do we have a woman in construction? Okay. Do we have a woman in mining? Do we have a woman in science and technology? I don't know the IT what? I give you the normal interview. I get one of the things that we did before we started visiting all the different provinces is we asked all the government departments it's fine. I get listen to interview. Oh, mining. Hey, what is it many? One of the other things that we found out, we did research properly. One of the other things that we found out, how about Matsepo trading? How about catering? How about stationery? How about school uniform?
Yes.
How about protective gear in the main? How about furu ya di kolobe? You are asking, kana furu ki e? Bariki watoto. Guys.
Yes. There is.
You can look at it positively, ne? And then you can look at it negatively, ne? And then you can also look at it realistically. I get about negative or positive or in. So you go back today, so when we share it, I get on negative. Oh, yeah, come on, I get. How about the kind of open day? I say open day. Can I get in? How highly tender you must go for a briefing or whatever they call it. Tender briefing. So, what I was saying is tender briefing when because come on, catering. Come on, over the servers government. I get a no kid Wi-Fi, lady data house, lady warehouse, lady data house. Come on, mining for women. Before you can deliver anything. I get. So today we get the analysis, your strategic plan, only one. Or is it negative for me? There are people who can do it successful. Or is it positive for me? And realistically, what can I do properly? I get. Okay. Where is the thing? Hey, the women in tourism, especially in this region. Okay.
Good morning. I am Rosemary Dike, a Managing Director of Mbegezelo Construction and a member of SEWIC and NAFCO. So I'm in construction, I'm doing general construction, roads construction, building construction. Thank you. Or you can contact me if you need my service on 0744 3510 29. I'm registered with NHBRC. You know, yes, I mean, I'm still on grade 1, but my experience, I think I'm in grade 7. Aso se apela mandla, aso se apela mandla. Maringar haribo mewe se aso se apela mandla, aso se apela mandla. Ya gutla no gore no re nka re gare bo mme re kopane o itse bo mmanna ke nna buitshoko dina ke khutswane ke tswa go company e bidiwa Ompido Enterprise ke ne ke ratile ke fela ka gore moradi ya ke utswile ke ena a mphirileng ke ne na go bua botoka we are in mining jaaka ba khatla ke nyetse go le hurusi irile ga ke ikgakologela gore ke mokgatla ke be ke boela gae ke ra role ke mora ke rotla sala o ikakanyetsa ke a go batla phalish go gae so re go Sianda mine Sianda e re file opportunity ga ba tshameke ga ba re ba fa ba sa di opportunity sa rona ke go itlhotlhora o tsamaye o ye go teng o go batla opportunity ya ka ga ke re bua le lona ke na le yellow fleet e go Sianda mine ke na le ditipa di go Sianda ke na le di TLB di go Sianda ya ka mosadi ke mo construction en go Sianda mantlo a go Sianda le ra renovate re senya di tile ra penta re ntsha di roof re gaketse basadi a re tseneng go mining go a kgonega re skara go caterer fela re di jack of all trades ka le bare di mo mading ke sone se ya ka no bua ore ga go te go penta re mo teng ga go te go apare mo teng ke se modimo a re fileng sone le yone ya go mining ya ka ke bua lona ke emetse go kry appointment letter ya belt maintenance ke tsena go tlase ya no go mining ditiro tse ga se tsa makgoa ditiro tse ga se tsa borre rona basadi re a khona ke ya ka ke le rekere ke na le ngwanyana ka she's 32 years old ga rena re mo teng re ba bedi fela re tlogetse batho ba ile mmerekong re di bus re tlile kwano gore re tle go ikgodisa gape re a le bo
Dumelang bomma. Halala women halala. Halala bomme halala. Halala mbokoto halala. Dumelang bomme, lina la ka ke Khosi Chobeka. I am the chairperson of Women in Tourism in the Northwest chapter. And Women in Tourism chapter e representa bomme ba ileng gore ba mo Bojanala, as in tourism, not Bojanala ka district. Renali representation in all the 4 districts, and Renali bomme ba ileng gore ba na le di guest house ba na le any other tourism related product within the value chain. And na yaka product ke travel management company, which is a travel agency e leng gore e based ko Phokeng go the Royal Marang Hotel, and we do corporate travel as well as leisure. So, meaning that we are able to package your trip and give you an experience if you are an individual or a company. So you don't have to sit in your desk and serve the net, got 5 different companies or 5 different guest houses, or say it's a flight from Nakomang to Nakomang, both local and international. So I'll encourage bomme ba ileng gore barana tourism products, ba join a Women in Tourism. You can do that by sending an email to NW, which stands for Northwest, NW Women in Tourism in full @gmail.com. And then you'll find the response from our executive team, Bata Horomella di Fomo, and the link in terms of you joining different products within the tourism sector. Galeboch.
you see why we do this, ne? You see why we must allow women, because it's not just the speakers who have the information. Gona yaanong re fetsa go utlwa gore ha o ka ya ko ke eng ke Sianda Bakhatla, how kaya ko? Wafitla ware I am a 100% black women-owned business. I do this, that. Bakofa opportunity. Some of us didn't know that again. We were thinking that maybe they advertise in the newspapers, right? No. We must be those women who actually go proactively. So, Reboni, women in mining, women in tourism, women in transport, women in construction. Do you have women in professional services? I'll see when Mr. Lito. You wanted to? Ukala uguza uzo? Emma Mo Bill. About what? But why am I feeling bullied? Mama, Emma Bill, wait till I give a bullies. The bullies are dealing with one primary. I can't know if it's a proactive. Nekisari right now, today, this morning. But you are a woman in what? In mining. I'm a woman in business. Okay. Okay. No, I see you. Do we have women in professional services? You know, some of us who are women in professional services, sometimes when we have events like this, because we don't have a product, we are the product, it becomes very difficult for you to sell your services. So do we have those women who are certified marketers, who are project managers, who are consultants, who are strategists, who are coaches, plus the coach these days, eh? So do we have those? Okay. Okay. Ndizoqala ngawe. Ndikunikeza umzuzu nje omunye.
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the session. My name is Lucy Ngwabeni. I drove 3.5 hours to come here. I'm from Klerksdorp. I woke up at 5 o'clock. So you can imagine why I'm burning to stand here when I hear my sisters talking. Because I hear people are talking about products, 1, 2, 3, but I am not selling any product. Sorry. Thank you. When my sisters are talking, for instance, about issues of mining, I'm in pain. Other women will understand me, because at least at Bakhatla, they are having Bosianda that are empowered. But you go, for instance, to the sites like Dr. KK, whereby there are mines that are live. I won't mention names. There are those who are willing, but there are those mines who are still not feeling that they can empower us as women. So I so pray that really we can get the Bakhatla mines to spread the word. We've been in this road for a long time, Program Director. I think we are even very structured in this province. We're having our own structure. It's not at the corner. I'm sure there's lots of my age here who have been running for so many years in this road. So the reason why I woke up in Klerksdorp is because when you talk about the 40% for women, we triggered actually the debate. It was 30%, we never got it, and it went now to 40%. I'm standing here to say to my beautiful province, that is led by my beautiful leaders, that is led by my own sisters, who know the plight of women on the ground. Even if we can talk about GPV, we won't manage. We are saying the same thing. Program Director, it's my 1 minute, I know it's too little, but I want to say to you, we've served, some of us, in many structures, nationally and internationally. So we think We are ready. Guys, let us not talk rhetoric. Let us get and zoom into the 40%, because the reason what made me to wake up today was the issue that I saw in the Premier's press release that says we're going to discuss the 40%. We want to know how we're going to go on site. I'm a contractor, I'm a grade 4, but I'm not at home since lockdown. I never got any project. It's not about me. I'm talking on behalf of many of you here. So you talk about the mines, we are ready, we know the compliance, but we are not getting the opportunity. So I wanted to set the tone to say, let's zoom into the 40% and see how best our province is going to empower us. We are here to be empowered, my dear sister. Yes. That's the crux of the matter. That's what I wanted to say. Let's go to the empowerment issue. Let's go to 40%. We've been in meetings. We've been in seminars. We are tired. At my age, I don't know for young people. Can we get to 40% and see how best are we going to be empowered? Thank you.
Mandibuza ukuthi akhona ama comrade. Ndibuzile kaloku. Hore ateng ma comrade anthuse ke go opela ke ha ba emisa matsogo. Re thoma mo akere, and then re tla mo 40%. Akere re tletse yona 40%. Re tletse yona 40%. Okay. Ke 1 minute guys. Akere ke 1 minute.
Ke a leboga. My name is Kheto Mbiza. Okay, I'm representing Chosen for Royalty. What we do events management and events planning, image consultants, but my heart is transformational coaching. Transformational coaching, it's only life coaching in a way, but we move you from one stage of your life to the next. Because I realize as women in business, you find that some of the women financially they are okay, but emotionally they are not coping, mentally they are not coping, relationally they are not coping. So we are here to assist you to be holistic, not just in one area of your life. So we coach you in different areas of your life so that you can live a fulfilled life. Thank you. Rico Breze, Le Pretoria. And then my number is 067-165-0843. 067-165-0843. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Kiabetsu Matlapeng. Ke ngwanyana ko ngweding. Ke kgoletse ko teng mo Moses Kotane. Company ya rona ke Maximo Project. It registered on 2004, but we were doing only security. Only 2 years ago, we started focusing on health and safety, on industrial, more especially more construction. So we are consulting on all health and safety related issues, the industrial construction. Thank you very much. Le Karkramo Maximo Project at gmail.com. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. From Katlahanyani. What we are doing is business advisory, the training, the name of the company, profitability centers, procurement. The gaps that we identified, actually all the business people, they the challenges. You have a business, you don't making any profit, you don't know what's wrong with your company. So we are here for you to identify the gaps, the marketing strategies, networking, like what we are doing right now. And I can say program directors who are so guys, we need to network. Make sure your circle that you have each and every day of your life, they know the purpose of your life together with the goals of your business. So the number is 076-163-9089. 076-163-9089. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Ke nna Lebogang Vilakazi. I'm a medical doctor by profession, so now my product is health. I'm a co-founder, co-owner of a company called Sebville. My business partner is not here today. We manage an emergency unit at Medicare Private Hospital. We are the only black female ER managers in Rustenburg. There are 2 big hospitals that we are competing with, Fencrest and Peclare, which are owned by white male doctors. So we are the first 2 black females. So we have about 10 doctors working for us. At this moment, I have a doctor in my unit. As Meachilo Molahore Gebas, Kimuhiri. So the vision we have is to have emergency units all over. We want to grow, and with this platform, this opportunity, we hope that someone will hear us and release our vision forward. Thank you.
Ne ke kopa re ba shapeleng diatla gape. Okay. Let me take this opportunity once more to welcome you to the Northwest Provincial Workshop where women-owned businesses see presidential 40% public procurement. We're about to start, and before Retoma, I just wanted to let you know again that we are live streaming. That's why I'm stuck behind this podium for our live streaming guests. But I want to acknowledge a protocol. We've got dignitaries that have joined us today, and I was telling them earlier on, Jorge, we've been doing this program. We did it go KZN, we did it go, Eastern Cape, we went to Limpopo, we went to Free State. And this is the only province, Moilong Jorge, there is a huge contingency, our political principals who are supporting the program. So I want to acknowledge Jorge, it is a big deal to have your politicians supporting women in business, because you understand, they understand what is important. So without wasting any more time, I want to acknowledge and observe protocol. I want to acknowledge the Premier, Ndatekia Ubita Bushimape. In his absence, he's on his way. I want to acknowledge MEC wa Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, Medes Bomuhono. I want to acknowledge the MEC wa Social Development, Mebu Idumelo Muilo. I want to acknowledge host Rona today, the Mayor Moses Kotane Local Municipality, Mengedu Ngonzo. They have indicated to me, Jorge, Renale 10 MMCs from the local and district municipality that Mama is leading today, who are here supporting this program. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to ask the Mayor Moses Kotane, Councillor Nkentungonzo, to come and just welcome us. As she's coming, because we are live streaming, can we reduce this traffic here in front? So if you need to go out to the bathrooms, please use the back entrances and exits. Lelikama elamakosi gazi. Asose apela manda azos. Elizwe elamakosi
Africa si azoze apela manda azoze apela manda azoze apela manda. Okay. Honorable Premier Ntate Mahape, in his absence, he's on his way as Resetsi Rutlile. Bohosi Bobolem Fano, women managers present here, women in agriculture, Bon members are weak, bon members are winner, NGOs present here, all the other stakeholders, ba botlhe ba ba tsogetse mo mosong wa gompieno go tla kwano go tla go itsela ka tsebe. Ke simololle ka gore, let me express my appreciation for what the Premier of Northwest, Ntate Mahape, has done on this day. This is a very historic day for us. This is one occasion which really need to be heartily thanked. We thank the organizers of the day, the Office of the Presidency, the MECs present here, Bomme, Reitshwerekafa, Bokhale, Memuilwa, Memono, Mohono ba ba nang le rona mo mosong wa gompieno ba itlhobaeditse ba tsogile very early gore ba kgone go nna teng ba kopane le rona le bomme ba tle go re tshegetsa mo kganyeng ya tsatsi la gompieno e leng empowering women, go rotloetsa, go thusa, go natlafatsa bomme. Go itumedisa gore mo mosong wa gompieno ke be ke eme fa ke na le lona nna ke fa mo boemong ba masepala wa rona wa Moses Kotane wa selegae o re amogetseng o dikaganyeditsweng ke dithaba tse dintle tsa Gapilane, mme o na bua fa a bua ka bojanala tourism ga se yone fela ke ntse ke le reditse bomma ke re tshwarang ka thata se le ne le se bua fa se ntemosa gore tota women are empowered, but it's not enough. Ke kopa gore le ntebel ke na le lebaka la gore goreng ke ba ka ntse kgotsa ke ipofile ka lebantale ke solofela gore ba botlhele ga motlhile matheka kgang ke gore bomme ba Africa bo fang matheka bomme ba Africa bo fang matheka. This is our century. A re diriseng, a re tshwaraganeng, a re work direng in partnership with all the businesses. Es ka nna gore ga di mine di le ka fa re be re utlwa gote management wa di mine o ko Seychelles o ko ke bala di countries tse le tse di nnamfatse ebe a tlo mine fa a tsa sengwe le sengwe re na le bomme ba e reng bana ba utlwa botlhoko sengwe le sengwe be nna mayo ha gona ra yo ha ke ehe inna bo mayo ke ne ke re this municipality approximately o covera 571,000 kilos o motona o very very rural le ga re ntse fa ke sho mme o na bua fa le bone le lona le gantse le tla jana le bone di lori di trucka di tla ka kwano di a tsama re tlhoka gore re tshwaragane le bomme ba rona re bone gore re dira jang e seng fela ka di mining le genka ya ko mining ka tlhaga ke tshotse 18 million le salary yaka ko bofelong ba letsatsi ke tlhoka go ja. We also need women in agriculture and rural development. Re tlhoka bomme bao ke kopa re le ipapatele matsogo ba le lenteng dijo di a jwalwa go a lemiwa ko bofelong ba letsatsi re tshwanetse re ja ke ga re batle ga re eletse re le masepala wa Moses Kotane gore mo nakong e tlang go te batho ba bolaiwa ke tlala e tswa re le teng re na le matsogo re na le lefapha la agriculture mo go rona re na le agriparka e agiwang jaaka ke bua le lona jana ko Moses Kotane ko ke ya Moses Kotane otlhe e agiwa ko Mabiskra e tsweletse meago ya tlhatlagana e bua ka agriculture. That's why ke ne ke bua ka WAD ke Women in Agriculture and Rural Development. Ke re ba gaetso a re tshwaraganeng la mogelesegile mo masepaleng wa rona wa Moses Kotane. Ke lebogetse bomme ba bantseng ba tlafa ke lebogetse bo brave ba gago mma gore ke atla le nna ke tlo bua ke iphaphathele matsogo ke tlo itlhagisa le nna my presence e fidiwa go utlwa le gore ke teng ke a itse gore bomme ba tletseng bomme ba tlile go dira eng fa maikalelo a rona ke gore ko bofelong ba letsatsi sengwe le sengwe sa rona le rona re be re sa tlhole re na le 10% ya di-shares le rona re be re tshwere dilo tse dintsi 100% ka ko bomme ba kgone go tsaya ditshwetso bomma ke lona le drive on the economy of the country bomme are the people ba ba rileng 1 ruby a day ga o latlhela 50 cent 5 rand e lengwe fa le ka letsatsi go bofelong ba kgwedi o kgona go isa sengwe ko bankeng o ntse o e latlhela fela mo thining ebile le bana ba rutega gore e latlhelwa kae mo thining ga re ikhurumele ka gore ga re batle gore ga re e fitlhe re batla gore re be fa lo mo a tlwaele gore go tsengwa fale ga re isa kwa o molomo wa ba e bone re sa go e fitlha yo timela ke e be fa o molomo wa bone sa be sa gagwe re le masepala wa Moses Kotane re la amogela re lebisile thata ditiro tse tsotlhe tse le di dirang bomma ke ka lefapha la local economic development maikaelelo ke go tsweletsa lefapha leo ga le fela ko masepaleng le fo lapeng le teng ke tla ke ntse ke tsamaya ke lebeletse digotlo tse dintsi go na le moponyana o nong o jetse fo ke phate ya development ya mme se salang fela ke gore a re tshwaraganeng bomma a re emeng ka dinao a re amogeleng dikgang tse dintle tse di monate tse re tlong go di fiwa mo tsatsing la gompieno ba mafapha a otlhe ga ka le tlogela ko morago SAPS le bomme ke bua le lona jana mme o ko police station ya Mabiskra e seng khale e butswe ke mme Pilane e teletswe ke mosadi ko pele so a re motshegetseng re se ke ra re o khakala le rona ga re mmone ke re bomma you are the entrepreneurs please drive this economy assist us re tlogelang re bogile mo nakong e fitileng gone gote mme o tshwantse gore a kry sengwe le sengwe nna ke bua ka nna e kile re ke batla motšhini o rokang ebe banks the manager for Sun City ko bankeng a re ke batleng tateng ko tswa tlo ntshaenela mme mo gone wa gopola ke mara ke re na ise ke boneng tateng ko tswa re kella konopo fela ya konopo a ene mara gate ke tlo mmatla a ba mpha that loan that day ka re na ise ke bona a rokella sepe go bera ka nna jaanong ke nna ke tlo duelang loan e se ke se leng teng ke gore ke a e batla ke batla go tsweletsa botshelo ba ka pele a re thusaneng bomma a re tshegetsaneng ke kopa bomme ba le mo di SGB please ke kopa gore le tshegetse bomme ba ba rokang ba ba mo metseng ya rona re itse gore diaparo tsa bana ba sekolo ga di rekwi fela ko school drag di a rekwa le mo gae re na le batho ba ba ka producer ba teng in actual fact di tracksuit leng di teng go tswa mo rona ke ne ke re ba gaetso ge nka e latswa bobe ke tla ke dira le tiro e senyaka ya me ba gaetso ne le go tla go lamogela mo masepaleng wa rona wa Moses Kotane la amogelesegile tlholang sentle re tla bona dipholo mo nakong e tlang ma rona ke tshaba go elatswa bobe ke a leboga
I just want to do a sound check. Can you hear us properly? La ruta gantle. No. Okay. How banna? Ya nong khalisa bui. Rena re tswela pele. Re ka mo gare ga bese re na no re tsamaya mmogo ganthe no re lisile ko morago. But can you hear me properly? Okay. So I can say with the speakers, I'm going to ask you to project your voices so that di-delegates tsa rona tse di dutseng ko morago ba kgone go rutlwa gantle kere okay mara ga le sa re utlwe ke kopa le re indicate-leng gore a le re utlwe. I just wanted to check gore ntate Harry Mashao, wait a minute. Yeah. What? Okay. But before ke bitsa ena, I just wanted to check gore media le wa ko Northwest Department of Education. Okay. Mama ke kopa o be ready to come ke go swapile le presidency because they've just arrived and I just wanted to give them 2 minutes gore ba khokhe moya ganyana. So please come to the front. Mediale is from the Department of Education. Gona le this program called Sanitary Dignity Project. How many of you know about it? Yeah, and this is I want the presidency to also just look at this. Members of the task team here, Women Economic Empowerment. This is the reception that we get everywhere we go. There is this project, a sanitary dignity program. You remember a while ago, I think maybe about 10 years ago, there was research that was done that says a lot of our young girls, they skip school, I think for 3 days a month when they are going through their periods. And so to ensure that we can keep them in school, government then decided that they will then provide sanitary pads to those children. And the decision, the extra decision on top of that, was that this project must be delivered by women. Because the sanitary pads, so that decision was that the project must be delivered by women. The whole value chain here. And I'm hoping, because Nationally is not here today, I'm hoping I'm going to put you on the spot. This is, I'm famous for putting people on the spot and forcing them to tell us what we want to know. I get. Media, the whole value chain, and also tell them where they can participate, when they can participate, how they can participate. I get. Me sanitizer. Ke kopa o tlo sanitizer because I get re busy more online.
Di minister tsa rona di MEC tsa rona tse di tlotlegileng, mayor wa rona o tlotlegileng, bomme ba rona ba ba tlotlegileng, refer le lefapha la education to make a presentation on sanitary dignity program that is implemented. We are implementing the coordinator of the program. It is Premier's office. Rona le lefapha la education. We are implementing agency, and I will be making the presentation, or I'll be co-presenting le ntate Muzi Rikoto. As our program director indicated, there is this program that is initiated by Department of Women, Children and People with Disability. They are the custodian of the program, and it started in the financial year 2019-2020. And as she also indicated, women are supposed to benefit from this program because it's about females. It's about our children, it's about our learners, and National Department of Women, Children and People with Disability, they also said it has to be also expanded to women that are from the poor background. But right now it is only implemented in schools. I think we all know that our former president, Nelson Mandela, said as long as women are bound to poverty, and as long as they are looked down upon, human rights will lack substance. Our former, the former Minister of Presidency, Susan Shabangu, also said, indigent women, menstruation, for most indigent women, menstruation is often a rather inconvenient biological reality against which there is no control, which is expensive for most ordinary women. And because Rona, as the Department of Education, we are working with women from the far rural areas. Sometimes the same sanitary pads that we are giving to our learners, they have to share them with their mothers and their aunts. So it is a need for women, and most women cannot afford to buy the sanitary pads. And hence the government said we need to provide sanitary pads to women. As I indicated in the financial 2019-2020, National Treasury allocated funds to the Department of Education to procure sanitary pads for learners in quintile 1 to 3. And the purpose of this program, it is to restore dignity of adolescent girl learners in quintile 1 to 3 schools, and also to protect and preserve sanitary dignity of these learners. It is also to contribute towards improvement of learning capacity of indigent persons, because we have realized that sometimes when a learner does not have sanitary pads, they will stay home and they will not come to school. And they will miss in a month, when they miss 5 days. Then you can imagine when we multiply 5 times 12, it is 60 days. So they are missing a lot. So this program also intends to retain learners, the girl learners in schools, to improve school attendance amongst our beneficiaries, that is girls in quintile 1 to 3, as well as girls in special schools. Okay. So, in the financial year, I will only look at financial year 2021-2022. The 190 learners, 190,895 learners benefited from this program. And in this financial year, we are targeting another 190,000 learners. But as program director requested, she wants us to go straight into the procurement processes and indicate how our learners are benefiting, or how women will benefit from this project. And as I indicated, I'm presenting with Ntate Muzi Rikoto, who is our supply chain manager, and the specification is ready. He will also talk to the specification and what is required for women to be able to participate in the procurement processes of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Madiale. Greetings to everyone that is here today. My task is very short, just to speak to the opportunities, to the value chain opportunities of this specific project, more especially as it affects a lot of women. Now, it is very important to note that within supply chain management, everything is done within the ambit of the law. So now, remember that these projects that we have, there is sanitary pads that are distributed to schools on a regular basis. So what opportunities are there for women, and what are women encouraged? Before the specification is approved, we cannot really divulge what is in that specification. because we need to give everyone the same information. But we are currently in a tender process whereby we've drafted the specification for this project, and by mid-June we'll be advertising the tender, because we've been using a transversal contract now to actually source these sanitary pads. So every woman is encouraged to basically tender, because that is the only way. Remember that in terms of government policies, the way we procure items is through the tender process. And its value threshold determines or defines it to be a tender where everyone must be given an opportunity to tender. There are a few things that I need to note going forward and encourage women in terms of tendering for this specific project. Number one is that we promote a lot of partnership within women. The manufacturers, I heard there was a lady here that is manufacturing these sanitary pads. So in order to increase your chances of being appointed for these specific tenders, as women come together, the one who has experience in terms of the manufacturing element or the product that is required, because we procure everything according to a specification that has been approved, is to come together, and the ones that, because there's also a logistical element in terms of delivering these pads to the schools. So the women-owned companies that have the experience in terms of that, to partner together so that you go as a coordinated group as women, so that it increases your chances of actually being appointed for the tender. As you all know that the 2017 PPPFR, it allowed for direct targeting and indirect targeting, specifically of women within a specific tender. Unfortunately, now in terms of the new regulations, it is no longer the case. Everyone is treated equally. I think, Chairperson, maybe it is a discussion that needs to be had on a national level. So our encouragement as the department is that women companies need to come together in order to be able to improve their chances of being awarded that specific tender. So that is the value chain in terms of the project, in terms of the sanitary pads. There is a distribution element, there is a manufacturing element, so all women are encouraged to basically participate in that specific tender. So please check the tender bulletin when the tender is advertised and ensure that you apply. Thank you, Chair.
When is it going to be?
Mid-June.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Thank you very much, Department of Education. I want the women, ladies, please pack your questions, because I think this is a very important opportunity, and I think because by speed we didn't quite hear what it is about. But we're going to take questions, and then we will ask all the right questions that we need for them to address, so that we are ready to participate. I know that there are women in this room who are in manufacturing, who are in distribution, etc., who are in marketing and branding, who can become part of the value chain. There's a lot of opportunities in this tender, and I think they skipped through them. Before Kikubiwa Miracle, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Premier. The Premier has joined us. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge Ntate Mape. Ke kopa tshwarelo ba tlhakatlhakantshitse laptop ya ka. But before we call the Premier, they have indicated that Premier is honoring us today to be here, but he needs to rush somewhere. Before speeches, I just want to ask the presidency to say they are welcoming and to set the scene and just to give the women part of the reason why we are here. And then kita libit. Okay. Ausnamtla, please come. So Ausnamtla is from the presidency. She is representing the special advisor to the president on social policy, Dr. Olive Shisana. Ausnamtla is one of the conveners. It's WeCorner, they call it Women Economic Assembly. And she will tell us a little bit more about it and also just why the president is so passionate about this project.
Background. Dumelang bomme. Dumelang bomme. Likai. So I did well there because Gimukosa. And I think I was just taking my chances with that hello. I hope everyone is doing well. It's so wonderful to be here. I just drove 2.5 hours. And I am delighted that I am here, and it's so wonderful to be in a room full of women. But even, even before I start, and I'm going to do my protocol just now in the premiere, so I will be greeting you shortly. But even before I start, Happy Africa Month. Who knows that this was Africa Month? We're still in May. Happy Africa Month. So, as Africans, one of the things that really excites us about May, although we know that every month is Africa Month, is that we think it's significant that in the 1960s, the leaders of this continent came together and said it's time that we stop looking at the West, at foreigners, for solutions to African problems. And we begin to look at ourselves and see how we can address our own problems. So when we say Happy Africa Month, what we are saying is our month. It's like we're claiming it. We're not talking about an Africa that's over there. We are saying, this is my month, and I recognize my role in my own community to solve my own problems. So Happy Africa Month. Ma Africa. My name is Namhlamniki, and I am a Deputy Director General in the Private Office of the President. I am responsible for programs related to women's economic empowerment. I stand before you representing, as it was said, the Special Advisor to the President, responsible for social affairs, Professor Olive Shisana. And she passes her warm greetings. Ndade Premier, warm greetings. Thank you so much for having us. I recognize all of the representatives from the Premier's office that may be in the room as well. I recognize all of the MECs. I recognize all of our honorable leaders who are in the front here. I know that the mayor is also in the room, all protocols observed. I want to recognize the team that leads this work that comes from national, representing all of the government departments that are responsible for this important work. But more than that, I recognize the ladies in the room, the ones that are earth shakers, the ones that are moving the ground, the ones that are pillars of our society, the ones that are making sure that our families keep moving despite difficult times. Now, we all know that South Africa is experiencing some of the toughest times that we've experienced as a nation. For starters, we experienced COVID 2.5 years ago, and all of us were shocked by the impact that had, not just on our health, but on the economy of this country. Many of us who run small businesses had to close those small businesses. Many of us who are in the informal sector had to give up trading because it was locked down. Over and above that, we've recently been experiencing everything from flooding to increasing unemployment to difficulty just getting our economy to work. And so we've got one of the lowest economic rates that we've experienced in the last 2 years and one of the highest unemployment rates that we have ever had as a nation. Why I'm saying what I'm saying is not to depress you, because I know you are very aware of some of the challenges that we are facing. I also know that you are aware that the economic challenges are not just a statistic, they have immediate impact on our lives. So increasing poverty, challenges with just accessing food and making sure that we can ensure our children have the clothes they need, the food they need, etc., etc. etc. And so when we talk about economic challenges, we're not just talking about a story that's out there, but we're talking about lives that we're living and what we're experiencing. When we were in the middle of the COVID lockdown and everything was starting to go down in our country, particularly in terms of our economy, one of the things that national government did was to work on what is called the economic recovery strategy, which was a strategy essentially that our president said was a system to ensure that South Africa can begin to grow. One of the things that now we've heard many stories before about our economy beginning to grow. But one of the things that has been unique about this, particularly this moment and the economic recovery strategy, is that we're trying to figure out how to make it inclusive. In other words, we're trying to figure out how do we bring the South African economy back to the hands of South Africans, back to the hands of women like you, who can help us to increase the rate of productivity in our country. So when the announcement was made by Cabinet in 2020, in fact, it was made through the President, and he said 40% preferential procurement will be allocated to women-owned businesses in the public sector. What that meant, in simple terms, was that we recognize as government that we buy a lot of services and goods. And that one of the ways we can help the women of our country to get out of the challenges they are facing in their businesses is to buy from them. Can we say buy from women? So our national government made this decision and they said 40% of everything we procure, we are going to buy from women, whether it is goods, whether it is services. Which means that there is a legislative framework that actually allows us to be able to say what is the public sector procuring, whether it's in at the national level or whether it is at the provincial level. And then to work out where are the opportunities that actually allow us to be able to sell our goods and our services to the public sector. So the reason why we are here is that the program that is run by the colleagues that you see is basically to ensure that women-owned businesses themselves are actually ready to do business with government. What does that mean? In phase 1 of launching this program, one of the things we discovered is that women were telling us, number one, they don't have information about opportunities that exist within government, whether provincial or national. Number two, they don't know the compliance rules that sometimes can be quite complicated in terms of qualifying to actually do business with government. So then these amazing colleagues from all of these departments then decided that phase 2 of our program would entail making sure that we've got these capacity training processes where we go to the provinces and then we say, let us take you through the various modules that would ensure that you comply with government procurement rules. So the reason you are here today is not just an information session, even though that's really important. So we're going to be sharing information about opportunities that exist. This is why you see your honorable leaders from the province, but also we are going to be going through a training process to ensure that your businesses actually comply in various areas. You are registered, you have your tax compliance. We are going to be looking at issues related to finance so that all of you leave today knowing that you can actually do business with government. Does that excite you, or does that sound like, oh my goodness, I've been here before and I'm tired of training? We know, because you've told us and we've been listening. So let me assure you that this is not something we're doing just for the sake of doing it. We're doing it because we realize that actually without going through these processes of getting your businesses ready to do business with government, we are not going to be able to see the kind of economic growth we want to see in our country. We are not going to be able to see the scaling up of productivity that we need to see in the mining sector, in the automotive sector, in the agricultural sector, and all of the 17 other sectors that have been identified by our government. And so the reason why this particular training is important is that it's specialized specifically to your needs, because it was done on the basis of research and engaging with women business owners like yourselves. And we determined where were the gaps and what it was that we actually needed to do. One of the things that is exciting that we will look at today, for instance, is the issue of market access. We had the feedback that says when women have gotten their businesses ready, and so they have their service, they have their goods, they don't have access to market. In other words, what do I do with my potatoes or my tomatoes, and how do I make sure that I have a buyer that can actually buy them? And so one of the things that we are now trying to do is to close that gap. I think that the MC was talking about the Women Economic Assembly. Some of you may not know about it. It's an initiative that was launched by our president last year, and it is in fact an outpouring of this process, of this capacity building training, and the work we are doing in relation to preferential procurement. The Women Economic Assembly was established by women business associations like the ones you belong in, by government departments and civil society. And it was an effort by women who came together and said, once we know we are ready to do business, we want to now engage with the private sector so that we can have opportunities in private sector value chains and in public sector value chains so that we have access to markets. Let me simplify this, because sometimes when we talk, things sound complicated. What basically this means is that we've taken, as we corner as the Women Economic Assembly, we've taken the area of agriculture as an example, and we said, what contract agreements need to be established with the big retailers to ensure that our women that are producing agricultural products can put their products on the shelves of Spar, on the shelves of Pick n Pay, on the shelves of Checkers, but more than that, to ensure that they can also sell them in their local areas. We've got women that are working in the automotive sector. And in that sector, those women in those businesses are asking the question, if I'm a panel beater and I'm a woman, how do I make sure that I have clients that can come and access my services as a panel beater? And so we are basically looking at every single industry, and we're saying, what are the barriers that exist in this industry that are stopping women from participating? And we are going to those industry associations and breaking down those barriers so that women have access to the opportunities that exist in each of these industries. Without taking too much time, because I know that we don't have a lot of time, as I wrap up, I think the bottom line that I can say is that, number one, rest assured that from the highest office of this country, the office of the president, there's a lot of commitment to ensure that women have opportunities in the economy together with their businesses. That commitment is not on the basis of seeing women as victims. That commitment is a realization that our economy has been on its knees because half of the population is not given adequate opportunity to participate. And so the reason that we have to create opportunities for women is because we need women to be participating in the economy. It's the only way South Africa will grow. So as you are busy engaging in your businesses, what I just said now about the political will that's based on our realization of the importance of the work that you are doing, that should give you the level of confidence to know that there are legal frameworks, there are policy frameworks in this country, in your province, that give you legitimacy to seek out these opportunities and to be bold in your endeavors as businesswomen, understanding that you are not just doing this for yourself, but the whole nation is actually relying on you to make your business work so that we can make our nation work. Number two, so I mentioned the political will and the commitment that we have and how seriously we take businesses owned by women. But number two is that we realize that we have to hold each other's hands as we do this work, because we've known and recognized that the public sector alone cannot create the transformation that's needed. The private sector alone cannot create the transformation that's needed. When you see on this table and you see representatives from government departments, from the private sector, from DFIs, our development finance institutions, from our development organizations like UN Women, it's a recognition that all of us have to come together and figure out how do we begin to bite this very challenging elephant one bite at a time, but doing it in a strategic way. So what you might find is that when you finish now, today, you might have to come together as the women of this province and say, what's our strategic focus? What are the industries that we're going to begin to attack? We heard about the sanitary dignity program, one opportunity. Agro-processing might be another opportunity. Mining might be another opportunity. Infrastructure and logistics might be another opportunity. You might have to come together and say, after we've identified these opportunities, how do we work together as women business associations to begin to engage with our public sector leaders, with our private sector leaders, so that they can begin to create programs that actually benefit us? So you've got enterprise development programs that you could begin to activate, but also other market opportunities. So the last thing I'll say is that we encourage that this is not the start and the end of this process, but rather it's an initiative that says, let's begin the journey to make sure that not only do you have the capacity to actually produce what's needed, but also that you have the strategic entry points that would allow you to be successful. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and may we have a successful workshop and rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sis Namhlaki Namhlamnigi from the presidency, representing the Special Advisor to the President on Social Policy. The next speaker, I know that I had said that Kilo Bitsa Ndate Premier, Mara protocol doesn't allow me to do that. So I know her in that the premier and Ghana can meet. Marayarung na the employers it's a good you can't do that. So kitoko pa MEC Mohono.
Thank you, and I'm Matsepe. Thank you, Mutamaisatiro. Kitse Chune, Ludumedisa Bomme, Kidumedisebo Pele, Botle Babafa. Kidumedise Lebore, Onakona Lebore Moharkabon. Kidumedise Badri Moja Kanabo MEC Mohono, the MEC Muilwa, le Mayor Waronawa Moses Kotan. Kidumedise by Mbarona Baba Holova, Metsi Meo Moholo. Me Olive Shisana. Kidumedise nom Shamniki. I kitsuta malebaba, Usnomsa. What's a malebaba? Who do you think Usnomsa or Kio Kifa? Kimudumedise. Udira Tiro e Holotat. Kiri Kis Klutamohona or Kitle Hoyamafa, Mopile Halna Kitle Hubuaka Kang, E Holo Kang E Holo, Eli Charahaniti. Ke kang e kholo ele tshwaraganetse wa bona ha ke tsana fa ke utlwile mo a bua ka di sanitary towels kae ke tsona dilo tse di practical tse le tshwantseng lo bua ka tsona gore dilo tse re tsena ya mo go tsona but na go ngwa ke utlwa batho ba bua ka di sanitary towels ke re go ba batla go reduce economy e batho ba ntšwa tshwantseng ba participate mo go yone to di sanitary towels a ba bua ka di mine ba bua ka di sakere but I hope ga se yone e o ka rena go ke na le go utlwa gote a gote black business go tawa di tax shop ke business e tshwantseng re dire mar business e feta mo gona le construction ya di petlele construction ya di tsela gona le di mine gona le masimo a magolo e se masimo ka mora gantlo masimo a magolo and so on ke yone economy e tshwantseng re bue ka yone gore re tsena ya mo go yone mo nako e fetileng go na le di-charter mole ka mokgwa ke bonang ka teng re tshwantse re lwele gore go nne le di-charter tsa mo provinceng re bitse meeting wa tourism re tourism charter ya reng ka bomme re bitse meeting wa mining re mining charter ya Northwest ya reng ka bomme re bitse meeting wa construction industry construction industry charter ya reng e ka nna le division le dimission ke dilo tse dintle tseo but le akuse no mvulo ke mshebile ngasuka ngakufanisa awutela ngakuboni ke itubela go bona o sino mvulo ke re ya no bilo distepile tlhaloganya yaanong ke re nna ke tlile go bua fa le lona fa yaanong naka ke political activist ba tla go bua gore dilo tse tsotlhe ha re di dira ha di sa itshetlega ka sa political understanding ga di re ise ko pele re pele ga ke tsena mo ke gopotse gore ke batla go bua gore re ka nna ra nna le division le di-mission di dintle dilo tse rona re di kwala di-objectives di strategy mara se se batlagalang ke clear implementable targets ke etsa gore ka nako e re tla be re tsentse ba ba kae ka nako e re tla be re tsamaya kae ka nako e re tla be re tsamaya kae oh sorry ke a utlwala yaanong ke re se se batlagalang ke clear implementable targets gore ra re le mining industry di-target tsa rona ke eng re le agriculture di-target tsa rona ke eng re le construction di-target tsa rona ke eng re ne le di-target but di-target tse di tsamaisana le gore le rona re nne empowered very empowered and re nne le passion selo se se thata ka business ke gore passion it's a key ingredient ya business ba teng ba bangwe ba golela mo businessing batsadi ba bone ba na le business a go tshwantse gore ba rane batsadi bone sena go tlhokala gote e kae business ele but ile ka gore go sena passion our passion ga e batlegile o siela e batla le empowerment yaanong passion ga e unfortunately ga o e kry ko sekoleng ga e rekisiwe e dependa mo go yana o tshwantse o e develop o nne le interest o tseye initiative passion e tla ra gore a nkitla o duleana gore ke letetse mana passion e tla go bolelela gore you have to make certain sacrifices yourself to achieve what you want to achieve gore dilo ha di tlela di latlhelwa yana mo go wena actually things that you don't really sweat for, things that you don't exert energy to obtain, do not last. Because you have not really suffered, you have not really paid dues to obtain them. They don't last. So, rona really government ya Northwest, trikemiseditse gore rona ko facing ya rona ya premier ki a re tlo bua ka di-10 a rena di-tender so batho ba na le di-10 ke bone ba buang ka di-tender gore ba di dirisa jang to empower women ba dirisang go empower women yaanong ke ke buile ke re nna ke motho wa politiki ke batla yala go bua ka politiki ke re I want to pay tribute to two women who continue to influence my thinking about gender equality, about a true egalitarian society. Two women who are very special to me. I've never met these two women in my life. I meet them through their writings. One of them is Angela Davis. Angela Davis was here in South Africa to present the Steve Biko Memorial Lecture. Angela Davis comes from, or is in America. She is a revolutionary, she's a feminist, she's an academic, Angela Davis. Another woman I want to pay tribute to is Martha Hennecker. Martha Hennecker comes from Venezuela, a comrade and a personal friend of Fidel Castro. I want to speak a little bit about these two women. They continue to influence my thinking about can we have an egalitarian society where women are not free? Can we have it? There are many debates today. Like I said, I'll talk more about theory and politics, and they'll talk more about practical things. There are many people today who question what we call the 1994 breakthrough. They say, yes, we agree it was a breakthrough. We attained our political freedom, but we still suffer economic deprivation. We still have unemployment in this country standing at 40%. When people talk about this 40% unemployment, it's as if it's just a statistic, as if there are no real impact on people. The unemployment in terms of youth is 60%. That's a crisis. That's a serious crisis in the country. And sometimes we politicians appear to be insensitive, appear to be not moved by this problem of 60%. What it really means is that there are people in this country who are going to die without ever holding a job. There are people, young people, who are going to die later in their adult life if there's no serious intervention, without ever having received a salary. Now, if they get married and they have children, what will the children eat? How will they survive? So this is a serious issue that we must address. And it speaks to this thing that we attained political freedom, but we must still struggle for economic freedom. And this interaction today about economic freedom, it's part of that struggle. Martha Hennecker says that one indicator, now Martha Hennecker was working in Venezuela as a revolutionary. And in Venezuela, we know that Maduro is there as the president of Venezuela, and we know that America does not like Maduro. And we know that Maduro introduced radical policies to end poverty and to empower women in that country. And so Martha Hennecker, working as advisor to Maduro, said, as long as we cannot clearly measure how many women today are relieved from doing certain responsibilities that they should not be doing, it is not the task of women only to bring up children. She says, as long as we think it is the task of a woman to cook, to do washing, to do cleaning in the house, the woman is not free. We have implemented marvelous policies, she says, in terms of equality at work. But there are certain things that inhibits, that prevents the woman from enjoying those rights, because the woman is still tied to these traditional responsibilities we've inherited from the time of slavery, from the time of feudalism into capitalism. Even today, those traditional tasks of women prevents women from enjoying the freedom that sometimes is reflected in our policy documents. Martha Hennecker says that to test whether we are free, we don't have today, in today's world, we don't have to look at whether men are empowered, whether boys are empowered, But we have to look at whether women are empowered. See, that will be the key indicator to show, that's Martha Henneke, to show us that the country is free, we are empowered. And she goes further to say, this type of struggle, she has experience. She passed on, I think, 3 years ago. So this struggle, even women who are involved in this struggle, and this links nicely with Angela Davis, sometimes do not understand the struggle of women. She says the fact that you are a woman doesn't provide you with automatic understanding of what you have to do to ensure that women are empowered. You have yourself as a woman to undergo transformation, to undergo a clear understanding of what is it we mean by women being empowered. Now, Angela Davis was here at VET speaking at the Steve Biko Memorial Lecture. And she said that when one struggle ends, another struggle begins. She says, and this is actually something that should not have happened. She says, I appreciate the role played by Mandela, the role played by Chris Hani, the role played by Steve Biko in conscientizing our people so that people must know that they must fight for their own freedom. And she says, Angela Davis, when this happened, they put the other struggle on the back burner. They said, the struggle for the liberation of women, this we can postpone until we have attained the political freedom. And she says, Angela Davis, this was a fundamental mistake. Because now, when we attained this political freedom, we never recalled that we said, no, we can't champion the struggle of women today, we must postpone this. She says she's impressed. She says, there was never ever again in history, a big march that was bigger than the 1956 Women's March in South Africa. Never again. But she says, what did that march achieve? What is it that we can show? It raised the consciousness of women, but then fizzled out. Instead of sustaining that struggle. She says the big problem was that the people who were prosecuting the struggle were men. And so because they were men, putting this other struggle on the back burner was something that was not a problem with them. Whether we speak of Mandela, whether we speak of Chris Hani, whether we speak of Steve Biko, whether we speak of Robert Sobukwe, we don't want to say they are not our heroes. But we say, with history, with time, we're in a position to say, ourselves who were involved in the struggle, did we really understand that the struggle to liberate the people of South Africa and the struggle to free women, they were intertwined. There was no way you could say, let's fight this struggle first, and then we'll get to that other struggle later. What is the consciousness of men today about gender parity? What is that consciousness? And I want to reiterate what Henneke and Davis say, that even some women don't understand the struggle they must be engaged in. I put it nicely when I say that. Even some women promote the disempowerment of women. They don't fight for women. So we have to do something about raising the consciousness of everyone. It's not unheard of. It's not unheard of to find that we women like Angela Davis as radicals. I mean, hakile ga go ganyesa kwa o itlhela bomme ba ja ba dutse ha tshale borre ba dutse mo disofe. And hala ka re wa bua o bona whether you are a radical. Will ha ka dira go khosi mo gona go mo khosi mo tsela ya. Ska ba bua wa senya. So we continue to perpetuate this. But where is the answer? I think somehow, and me Olive is not here, and I know her. Mona ga gona ruta ko university kwa ena bereka le me simutsa bereka le me kana ke manong vula le minister of health o le ila tlhokafala man to chabalala msimang. I know ke a mo itse gore ena wa di lwela di tshwanelo tsa bomme. Mona ga gone le lecturer ko university ke tsena ko gone ko Western Cape ena le teng. Ke ntile ka rotla ba le teng ha ya re ke a bona o rometse proxy ba re ke ba utlwile batho ba ba rometse ba itse kgantsa bona ke ditse ya ke reditse. The key issue ke re batho ba tshwanang le bona, batho ba tshwanang le bo kana ga ke mang o isio batho mthintswa kana ke mang Thenjiwe Mthintswa, batho ba tshwana le bo Thenjiwe Mthintswa, batho ba tshwana le bo Prex Govenda, batho ba tshwana le bo Nomboni Sokasa ba kwala maranka botsa bo mmea gore ke mang yo badileng gore batho ba bare ntwa e ya bomme e tshwantse tswella. Nomboni Sokasa, Thenjiwe Mthintswa, Prex Govenda ba kwala ke mang mo gare ga rona mo o badileng. Now ntwa e ya gender parity ha se ntwa we dirang fela mechanical o tsamayano tsore ke batla tender e nida le yone go nna le a theoretical understanding gore why is tshwantse re dire selo se. So go a tlhokagala gore bomme ha lo ntse lo dira di meetings tsa lona tse bomme ba sawiwa lona ba sawiwa le sawiki le sarika ha ba kopane ba bitse mongwe a tle go bua ka theoretical understanding ya struggles, because komorago if we are struggling as women and we think we are successful as women in construction, whilst there are still women who are unemployed, whilst there are still women who go hungry, we are not free. Even if I can drive a Porsche, I have a house in Sandton, I'm a woman, I'm in business, as long as there are other women out there who still go hungry, who still are unemployed. So that is why I want to emphasize the point. Whatever we do must be based on a theoretical understanding of why we have to fight for gender parity in society. The struggle for gender parity is not a one-day struggle. It's not, and the struggle to gain consciousness about the need for women to occupy leadership positions in society is not, I understand now, it's okay. It's a daily challenge. If you are a man, if you are a woman, you are confronted on a daily basis by situations that will reflect oppression of women. And what do we do with those every day? So you don't have to say, now I appreciate the fact that we have to fight this gender oppression. No, it's a daily thing. So you need to be conscious that it's a daily thing. Whether you go into a hospital, whether you go into a shop, whether you go into a mining site, it's a daily occurrence. Because that gender inequality will be there, will hit you in the face in all social settings. You'll see it there. So you have to be on a daily basis. As long as you are awake, you must think about it. You must think about it. So karena ya no ki buile dilo ha tse dintsi gore we have to think about it. We have to have a theory that will help us change the attitude of people, the mindset of people. I keep on bua. Le bona ba ntse ba re, I'm a revolutionary, I'm disciplined. How could we somebody buang ka bomme? Wa tshoga. Hentate, ga wa re wena o trainile ka political theory ko Soviet Union. Political theory ya kena ne sena gore lo tlhokomele bomme motho o buang ka bomme. Wa tshoga. So there's a need for re change the mindset tsa batho, re change the attitude tsa batho, re change behavior ya batho. Ya tshwantse go nne le batho ba batla tlolang ba bua ka o seno mvula. Re change yang the mindset tsa batho, re change yang the attitude tsa batho. Ke batla go bua jana ke re ke eletsa gore mo nakong e tlang ha re tla fa re se ra tlhole re tla fa re tlile go bua gore re dira re be re tlile fa go tla go checka scorecard re tlile la re batla department e re bele scorecard sa yone re bona gore e dirile eng ra simolola of course but mo nakong e tlang ntwa e ga se ntwa e tla hengwang ke lona lo dutse kwa lo e batla loeme ka maoto e batla nako engwe batho ba lo bitse unreasonable lo demand re batla dilo ba lo bitse unreasonable. Of course unreasonableness ya lona ha e tshwane le ya batho ba ba hisang di building ha re batle eo because how we hisa di building we hisa di tire o dira nako engwe re busitsa ko morago ma ha o batla dilo tsa ha o ka re gompieno re robala lo yana mo tlung ya go premier ha gona scorecard how reasonable re tla go inconvenience nyamara gape go ka ke so se ba sheba sa iwatsi no but on a serious note, the MEC tse ke ba reile re busitse malogo ra re batla gore ha lo re na dilo tse tsa government di bidiwang di APP di indicated clearly measurable targets gore lo a go direlang bomme re busitse go bona so rena re commita gore re supporta kganye ya gore monna ga free as long as bomme ba se free mme alesi ga itse go nna free as long as bomme ba bangwe ba se free ke lo eleletsa gore gompieno lo discussing go tswe mo group ya bomme ba batla a kitse le gale ga ke batla go lo etella ko pele ba batla le some interim structure sa province because na kwa ngwe itlela re le mathotsi go siame go na le bomme ba ba involved mo construction but you may need some re kopana re forma a provincial something se se re coordinator le ba bangwe ga re gore ya re batla go balaola ba tla nna autonomous ka dilo tseo but na ko re nida go bua ka one voice ka dilo tse di affectang rotlhe ke re lo tla tlhola monate a ke lo letsa masego le matlhogonolo mo dipuisanong tsa lona bona bang quality speech ya ga ka bua ka shone ka gore ba gore ba nkwalela nna ke a poga ba ke a lebo
yeah you can
okay
yes
thank you very much re na le premier e progressive gagolo yeah re na le premier e progressive ha ke le radical ke tla re he's a feminist so MEC ke itse re ne wa bona program ya ka so ina le di program director le ba bangata so MEC before ke go bitsa bare it would be amiss gore premier a le teng e le gore bomme hanke ba fumana tšhono ya gore ba bue le premier. So I'm going to allow 2 women, 1 hand, 2 hands. Ne? So I'm going to allow 2 women to comment. I get. Ke mama who's representing Sawik. That's why kids ke and then le mama. Premier, I'm just going to give them the opportunity to horeba. And then you just before Urisia, you can then also just. Oh. Hey, wait in Nani. I can resign from this job.
One minute, yes. All right, 1 minute. Ke le dumedise botlhe bomme, ke dumedise premier ya rona le di mafapha otlhe, the office of the presidency. Lina la me ke Lerato Khaswane. I'm a director of Lerato Khaswane Foundation. Foundation ya Lerato Khaswane, it deals with empowering rural women in businesses. Rena le di sector mo Lerato Khaswane Foundation, we have bomme baba rukang. Rena le di companies tsa people who are into the accommodation and food service. Rena le agriculture. Oh, sorry.
What is the message? What are you
okay, my humble apologies. Oh, okay. My message to Premier ke gore ntate re teng re le dik ke tswa ko Mogajane village. Ke tswa ko Mogajane village ke rwele mo morago ga ka ntate di company tsa basadi. Our database is sitting at 54 rural women e le gona ne re bula ka di 13 tsa May. Re kopa thego ya gago on the July we will be sitting at 250 a list of women who are in businesses. Basadi bana ntate ba tlhoka access to information, ba tlhoka the confidence, the training. They've got the businesses di kgwebo tse leng gore di dintle tota mo e leng gore ntate ba tlhoka thego. Through Lerato Khaswane Foundation, we need assistance. Thank you, Baho. Okay.
Ke tla dumedisa nna ke nna Caroline Musiatlhaga ke tswa go bophirima jo bo kgakala Dr. Rusi go motse Mompati. Papa ke tlo gore a kere re itumeletse gore re be re le fa rona re tlhaga go Dr. Rusi go motse Mompati. Mara le bomme ba bophirima ga rena tšhono ko Naledi. Tšhono ra itima ka lebaka la di go na le di business forum ke tsone tse di benefitang. Re le bomme ka gore ga rona ga re ilwe ga re thata re palola ke gore re kry mosebetsi. Number 1 ko Naledi papa ke kry le project ka 2019 ya go renovate di stadium. Le a ke bua le na sentse ne ke renovate stadium e stopilwe ke berekile ka nako ke tsetse di thoto mo tlung ke tsetse dikoloi ke Naledi ke shotlha ke motho wa mme ya ka o buile re bo mme ba sotlhana. Ha re wa motsa meeting dia tsena dia tswa di meeting dia tsena dia tswa papa. Bothata ke gore madi a gago re patetse ba bereki ka tsone le Eskom. Engwe e ke ratang go ile boga thata papa ga o ka re tlhokomela re ka itumela because re ntse le rona re deliver bana ba ba sokolang re shebile di goele re shebile di crash ko matsengemeng. Ke ne ke krile project ke filwe ke memo hono ke yo ke batla go mo akgole ke tswa go bophirima jo bo kgakala kwa papa ke shotlha ke re ha go project e ne bidiwa high roof
high roof ro nantsha di contractor ke be ke tsena ke le mme bo rre ba mo pale a paletse bo rre botlhe a rene ke lawyer mme mohono na tla go ntoela ke ne ke agile sekolo se storo se hetang aba barare le tshameka ka madi a puso la go tsenya mo storong se o rile go tshwarisa mme mohono ke a go akgola mma thusa bo mme ba bang thank you.
Dumelang bagolo yo buang fa ke na le dimataboge we can sit here and talk a lot of things mara premier go buile wa itse gore go di masepala lefoko la go le wela mo metseng ya ke right it doesn't happen quite recently go Eskom ke boditse gore percentage e ba e fang basadi ke eng okay I'm saying quite recently go Eskom I asked the question gore ba fa basadi percentage e feng and they said that in my eyes bari they treat everybody equally so we can sit here and talk about these things if you want to change stlhare go se bankanya o simola ka dikalanya tse dinyane tse wa di bankanya ke nagana le ko masepala I wish the mayor nka ba sa tsamaya because nka ba sa tsamaya a utlwa this thing basadi ga ba treatiwe ga ba fi mmereko ga re bua nnete and o thachitse kgang engwe e sanke re bua as much as we can sit here and talk ro tsamaya re tla ko di-officing tsa lona di-official tse di fa we don't get the welcome ke kopa le bone ba change as much as ba na le mathata le rona re na le one that's all
kare ke a itumela ke utlwile dikgang tse dingwe di monate tse dingwe ga di monate ke reile medes boale ke re kgang ele ya ko Dr. Ruth ka tshwana e sale morago a utlwe gore ke man re yo o dirang jalo ke ntse ke bua le mme mohono hale bile ke sa itse gore ba itsane ke bua le ena ke re mmele o mo utlwile a rotswa ko Dr. Ruth o le ke go addressa issue ka nti bila ba tswa bua gore wa mo itse mo thusitse ke so se sentle se so go a bontsha gore gona le dilo dingwe tse di siameng tse di diregang mara go a bontsha ka mme na le di matabogana bua gona le bo gontsi mo go akanteng ke batla go bua bikinyelela ka di masepala tsa rona di na le bothata ke bogolo di masepala tsa rona ke gone di ne di tlhophiwa ka November re tswang go yone re ntse re bua le Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma gore di masepala tse di berekiwa jang gona le di masepala tse dingwe ebile di setse di simolotse go alowa mo gare ga masepala gona le gore bane batho di services se balwa Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma a re ha batho mo masepaleng balwa gona le gore bane baagi di services a bantshiweng jaanong ke morele ke re mme re ka tshwanna re tsena go nyana pele ga re bantsi mara a bantshiweng mara re simolla gone jaanong jaana ka program ya rona go interacta le di masepala selo se ke lo se re batlang go lo se raya bomme ga gona struggle se se easy gore ha o tsena mo struggle mo bore ke tsena go easy ga gona struggle se se easy any struggle particularly where there are other groups entrenched and benefiting in our society today. This liberation has brought about a number of positive changes. One of the key changes is that black business are now black people are gradually getting involved in serious business. But unfortunately, the majority of them are men. And as long as men get entrenched, women have to struggle. The point I really want to underline here today is that this struggle to ensure that women are liberated is not going to be an easy struggle. It will require us to be committed to. There won't come a time mo generation tse tsa rona re tla reng re heditse go lwa. So now I appreciate batho ba ba itse mathata a bone ba ba tla tlisa ba ba tla yang to relevant agencies go ra thusa. Mo officing ya rona ya premier go na le bomme ba ba berekang le bomme a ke tsura ba tenga ba teng ba berekang le bomme oh ka re so yaanong ke mmereko wa bone go tla go reetsa dilo tse re di process ba tshwantse gore ba ntshe ke ba modiegi QR ba emetse ba bang ba seong fa ke mmereko wa bone gore ba tseye dilo tse di buiwang ba ye go di process ba reetse le di MEC ba tla reetsa MEC o tshwantsa ye go ba tla reetsa bokete yang Ntombi le modiegi ba reetse mo ba re tlisitse report gore re bone gore re tsaya jang dilo tse re di ise ko pele ya ka ke bua it will not be an easy struggle and it's a struggle e re lwang ba tla go boeletsa every day re ka tshwana re bomme ba sa ke tlhole kopana le bone mo di functioning bone na ko ntlhele ke kry impression ka re bone ba siame but ke a itse gore ba itwela gona le o mongwe motelo ka o se motelo kana ke mang leina la Scos Xoli ke a itse gore wa itwela ene a duli ke a leboga lo tla tlhola lo buisana ka mathata a lona lo tla ka di solution tse di tla berekang ke a leboga siame leadership
Hi, Premier, ke tshwanetse ke introduce Nomvula, wait. Ke tshwanetse ke introduce aus Nomvula because speeches are Premier, wait king. Ke Nomvula, hey, Nomvula. Mara asiko lapha ke re ba re yalo. Okay. Re tswela pele MEC ke kopa o ngatamele. Gona le bomme ba bangata ba ba tlileng mo nna MEC u santsane o tla kwano. Ba ba tshwereng di problem gore hey ba bang ne santsane ba mpolella gore we are in mining, we have been given business but the mining license is a problem, DMR is a this, is a that. Ke tlo kopa ausmodiegi gore towards the end will raise hands but officials who are here who can assist the women so that re tsebe gore ha o tloga mo o founele Matshepo a go what we do is we give you our numbers o founele Matshepo a go thuse go solva bothata bo na leng bona I get okay
yo dumelang bagolo le kae bagolo la nkutla go morago la nkutlwa ke ngwanyana go tshwana ke tla bua se tshaneng yaanong di HOD tse di leng teng ka mogare ga rona a di emelle HOD o ka re ke ya ka ele ke ya public works ya economic development guy. Okay. No, ke batla go addressa issue ene Premier I raise. The officials of government di teng today. They will definitely address and come back to our different clusters. Memwila o tlo go addressa the social cluster issues. I'm going to get into economic cluster issues. So at the end of it all, they will collate the whole information and bring it to clusters. We are saying as this 6th administration, we are tired of talking. Di colleagues tsa ka di a re kgale ke le teng ba bua nnete ke lapile go utlwella action ha eyo. So we don't want that anymore. So I'm going to look into economic opportunities for our women. And then Memwila will be looking at the social cluster, not the economic cluster. Premier Nasta ile ke mo acknowledge le major wa rona ausinkotswe ausinke tunkotswe my colleague MEC Muila wa social development who representile nalene re representile di chairperson tsa rona tsa di cluster o representile chairperson ya social cluster ke representile chairperson ya economic development ke a leboga batho ba rona ba tlagang go presidency wa ditla irile go tla go the presidency ka re ga ke ko ba re ko ba bao ko presidency ya la ba tsena mo province they take over na ke nganga na ba tsena ba re ke mo province ya ka mo le tla ema pele le tla tsena ka nna so re lebogile gore be le tlisa this program to our women and we appreciate it very very much and then le bomme ba rona Arieng bukoni buphirima ke a le bona santsane le teng bomme ba Arieng we used to have a vibe Arieng bukoni buphirima Arieng now we used to have fun go tourism and continue that fun. I'm making agriculture cool. Kina le banyana ba ka ba di manicure di pedicure mara ba le ko tshimo ka se believe gore ke bona banyana ba di manicure le di pedicure we are making it cool so continue the good work that you are doing we appreciate bomme ba rona ke lona batho ba botlhokwa ba botlhokwa me miniki re lebogile thata ka mantswe a supporta re fileng ona go tswa from the presidency gore le rona re nne bomme ba sebele bomme ba rona botlhe ba ba leng teng gompieno ba bang ba lona le tlo go ikutlwela gore gwa di tshono tse puso e ka di fang gore le bomme le rona re emelle ke tse di feng so that when you go back you are not the same person who entered this world today. When you go out, you must be a different person. I know for a fact that Sawik, I used to work with you, the late doctor. That's when I was in human settlement. It shows you how long I've been here. I agree with them, as go I'm old, even my head is gray. So most of the sectors I've worked with them, I know most of the women association I went to and listened to what the women are saying. Let me check something, ladies and gentlemen. Le bontate ba rona ba re supportileng ra le leboga because ha go bua ka gender me mo ile wa go bolela gore no we are not only focusing on a girl child, we are also focusing on a boy, because if you don't teach this boy how to treat a woman, he grow up end up the kind of men barna le bon re botsa ba khwanyana ba re tlonna le bona ka ba mofuta o ntseng yang so re leboga bontate ba rona le bona ba re joinileng today. Like bona amongst yourself women, how many of you ba ba filweng di plaza ke land reform? I can believe you. There was an advert called Dr. Ruthie haba khone go appointa ba re mosadi ke number 2 monna ke number 1 ka re le tla montsha monno le tla tsenya mosadi o ka re le tla montsha le tla tsenya mosadi o because as government Rona, we don't interfere with procurement. We just say policies, and there are people who must go and implement. They go and give their male friend these farms, and this male friend, they are not making any impact. For a very long time, our fathers were working in the mines here in Rustenburg, Gauteng, all over. Our mothers were taking care of us. When they come back, we are elderly women and men, and we are educated, and they don't know how our mothers did that. Now, it can be correct that because the challenge that women in agriculture are facing is the challenge of land. Yes. Now, you cannot come and talk about empowering our women, because when you have land, you can say anything that you want. Nobody will tell you anything. But if you don't have land, you don't have a say, title deed. If you don't have title deed, you can't do anything about what you want to achieve in your life. So this thing, the minister is a woman, the deputy minister is a woman, most of the MECs in provinces by agriculture, they are women. We are fighting very hard to say we want to see our women occupying this space. It can't be men alone. They must occupy this space. Let me take this moment to greet everyone gathered here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the Northwest Province, in particular our women, we cannot express the fact that our province is alive with opportunity that are entirely and squarely designed for our women. It is important that our women in the Northwest should see government as their
outlet where they go and raise their frustration and get what they want. Never give up on your government. It must do that. It's not a favor. Ladies and gentlemen, as a province, we should also come to the fore and agree that boosting women's economic empowerment is key to achieving gender equality, but persistence, social norms, and discrimination continue to keep our women from thriving in their business oyster. You have just said, Ausluzi, the mining, the ramatata, and we are not going to leave it lying low. The Minister of Minerals, ke champion ya bojanala. It can be. You know, I wanted to be Nagimufugeng. Ke re ke batla go nna board member ya ko mining. A ke re ba fugeng ba owner di mine. Ya re ke khawatile ke code of ethics ya di MEC. Otherwise, I was going to be a board member because people must explain to us, why do we have all these riches but people are still living in poverty? When I was doing my master's, I used Moses Kotane as tourism. My topic was on tourism. I want to know why people of Moses Kotane are still living in poverty when they have a niche of beautiful tourism outlet in their area that they can use to improve their economy. So it's important that we should occupy that space. If mining don't want to listen, re tla tsa 1976 March, re etelle pele re go di mining tsa rona. The Northwest Province has come to realize that investing in a woman, human capital, is key to economic growth and social cohesion, especially in our village, where gender gap in education is still large. And these economic gains from education girls may be substantial when our women also are saying enough is enough. As a province, a lot has been done in making sure that playing fields are leveled. We know that women's full economic participation will help business perform far much better, especially during these trying times of COVID-19. You know, they were laughing when I was addressing our women in beekeeping. Kere, you know, me how ka mo fa 50,000. O tlo go ira dio tse dintsi mo ntlong, airang. Mar e fentate. But to give a slay queen, we need to teach them that you must be independent and not rely on a man. There is one clip, the farmers were laughing when I was addressing them. That is why I'm going to give 40% of my budget to women, 30% to youth, 7% to people living with disability. Kutle monyana slay queen are, how nale monna famara, how re papa hagina cheleta wisa khomoko fantasy. Are how re papa hagona se shabo nku ya re po. Now a woman would know better when I take this cow to auction, I have to pay the school fund of my child. So the struggle of women, like the Premier have said, we cannot say we have arrived. Those who got opportunity to get in the mining industry, be happy. But don't say you have arrived, you haven't arrived as yet. Until we call the shot as women in this country, then we'll say we have arrived. The province has made about 4 provision and stride that will see women occupying driving seat instead of just being mere passengers. And they are as follows. As economic development, we have ensured that women are equipped and prioritized to participate in the provincial economy fully. As a province, we have been enforcing policies and social protection system for women to thrive in their business sector. The province have invested a lot of women organizations and businesses. The province have been advocating for decent and protected user-friendly environment for all our women so that the workplace and the business sector is acceptable. The role of government is to create an enabling environment for business to strive. Now, public works must ensure that our road to economic sectors is well. If we don't have proper road, how will our business thrive? If we don't have proper infrastructure, how will our economy thrive? So these are some of the things as the economic cluster we are looking into and working very hard on how best do we ensure that we know we are lacking as a province. And we know that we have messed up, and we own up to our mess as a province to say we are successor in title. And we must make sure that we change the life of our people for the better. The economic cluster for the past 2.5 years, we have been talking to Moses Kotane on SEZ, Special Economic Zone. And we are very clear. We are very clear, it's here in Mokwase. Those who grew up in the Rustenburg area, you'd imagine how many buses coming from Molatedi, all over the show, coming to work here. Now, we are going to establish an SEZ here. As economic development, we are very clear. That project, it will take off. There were just hurdles between ourselves and the local municipality. But I said to the mayor, we can't allow the municipality to lease a land to another government. We lease to individual, not government. This land will be given to government so that our women can be able to do their business here. And that's what economic development is assuring you today, that is going to happen. Now, the sneak preview of women participation within province is quite satisfactory in a sense that we have reaffirmed our position to put aside 40% of procurement spend for the benefit of women, youth, and persons with disability, thus aligning the implementation of gender response in planning, budgeting, and monitoring and evaluation framework. Now, the province have set aside about 120 days that will cater for women on the following stream in the economic development. Compliance and registration of companies, they will be doing that through economic development. We have offices throughout the province of economic development. Procurement and regulatory framework, financial literacy, marketing strategies and access to market, finance and growth opportunities. In agriculture, we're just about to sign an MOU with Land Bank. You'll understand that those who have their private farm, they struggle because Land Bank is overcharging them. Now we are saying to Land Bank, we'll be giving you the money which will be a grant to our farmers, and then you'll give them a loan. If you ask for an example, 10 million, you'll only pay 7 million, and the 30 million will be a grant. And the first people we will look into, it will be our women, because I went to legislature and commit myself 40% procurement to our women. Now, in tourism, we want tourism to take advantage of the sport, arts, and culture activities. You know very well that when game, like we are having a netball game tomorrow, everything people must come. They must come to the game. And when they come to the game, they want to enjoy themselves. That's where tourism you come in. Every activity by sports, arts, and culture, it must benefit tourism. And that's where they link. Arts and culture fall in social development, but in government. I will produce from agriculture, and it will fit in nicely in the SMMEs of economic development. So that's how you should look at business. You should look at narrowing. And Program Propeller was saying, women, riagamo. The time has come, as women, we must focus so that we can grow. Let's just a little bit tweak multitasking. We know women, we are multitask, but just a little bit, let's tweak it and focus on your sector and be sure that this is where you want to go, because don't get into it because somebody else is doing it. If you do that, you won't succeed. But go into the business that you say, now I'm not a good businessman. So I can't be a businesswoman. I'm fine as a politician. So all what I'm saying, I know very well sometimes focusing on one business is not conducive, but at least 2, 3 Yes, not more than that. Because if you do more than that, you at some stage, you won't even know what is it that you are doing yourself. So it's critical that look at one or two that are working, that align to each other. So that when there's no cash flow on this one, you know this one will bring cash flow at the end of the day. The women of the Northwest must explain to me how many hospitals are there. And they must explain to me who is doing the linen of that hospital, of those hospitals. That's where economic development comes in. As government, there is money. As government, economic development, when you are organized and you bring a bankable business plan, they buy you this big machinery for washing and for ironing, and the linen of all our hospitals are being done by our women, and they make money and they create jobs, and poverty is being reduced in the province. So don't only think about tenders. Tenders are not sustainable at all. So look above a tendering system in our province. Ladies and gentlemen, agricultural sector, which happens to be ultimate in the province, will hasten and fasten the procurement through quotation procurement on women-owned business, which is currently we are standing at 20.26 as the Department of Agriculture % of women. The department for this year, we went to legislature presenting our plan, and we have committed ourselves that the procurement will go to women who own business, and that is clear, is 40% through quotation and existing pre-qualified database, and every little tender must make sure that 40% goes to women. I'm saying to people, 90% of my procurement must go to the people of the Northwest, 10% can go elsewhere, I don't have a problem. The reason for me to say that is because by 2019 when I come, 1.8 million people in the Northwest were living below poverty line, which means some of the people were going to bed without food. So we can't afford that any longer. So 90% is not a policy, it's my policy. It's my policy. 90% procurement must go to the locals, but you must have the prerequisite skills to do the work. But 10% we give it to anybody in this country. We are not an island. We can't be doing things alone. Last week, those who saw last week, and we are there to support you and make sure that you go through. SAPRA is giving people difficulty. When you apply for medicine, you apply medicinal, you're going to encounter difficulty because they want a lot of things that sometimes our women cannot afford. In agriculture, we use them for commercialization and industrialization. The other markets, and I'm proud of my women. You know, my PF just told me that he's lying off flu. I've said to the helper in the house, get into the drawer. There are people out there. Give the men to drink. He'll be fine in 5 hours. The beekeepers, we are empowering our women. You know, I went to Canada and I told people, there was an African meeting, and I said to them, in South Africa, when you see a bee, we run away because it's an enemy. And those guys tells me that, today, I'm empowering women to be beekeepers. I'm going to buy them cars so that they're able to transport their produce. So, these are some of the opportunities that we say, our women, there are opportunities that you don't know anything about. Get into the market. We will definitely assist you in ensuring that you go far. Ladies and gentlemen, Also in public work, there are opportunities. The administrator is here and the officials are here. They will talk much and tell you there is nothing that is stopping you to be a woman to make a road. There is nothing that is stopping you as a woman in construction. You don't only build RDP, because sometimes you reduce yourself to RDP. You can build these big hospitals, and you must make sure you are in the database of public. Those are opportunities. Public works have got huge property that need to be revamped, revitalized. You women, but they fail us. Men fail us. Why the how le mosadi o le motlapa wa re makatsa? I see re bone mosadi we emela ka maoto a kampana ile o tlhatsotsa mosadi wa mong washini gore bana ba je. So let's go to all these opportunities. Again, I would be very wrong to ignore the continuous gruesome killing and raping of our women throughout the country. It's because of poverty more often. And if we can get things right as women, I think we will overcome this scourge that we are facing. We all have to actively engage in ending these brutal acts on our women, guided by the revolutionary vision of our forebearers, inspired by the courage and commitment of our mothers and those who came before us, by daily struggling of millions of South African women. We will surely succeed in building a society in which the daughters of our nation will live in peace, dignity, security, and comfort. As I leave you women, I'm going to leave you with the quote from our struggle stalwart, Mama Charlotte Matege. And I quote, "This work is not for you self. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people that you're supposed to serve, but rather live with them. And if you can rise, do that holding their hand as well." Close quote. Bagaetsho ke le lebogile, itumeleng letsatsi la lona.
Okay. Re lebogile MEC. Ebile ha ke ba tlo tlalletsa because I think go na le dilo tse ngata fela tse o di buileng tse e leng di ba re ke di mic drops akere. You know the mic droppers. Gore ba re pila gantle na tsentse a bue a re I drop. So mara ba re tsebe ya gaufi ya ikutlwela. Ya ikutlwela nna ke mopedi guys. Lang kwane. Hey, so everybody wa le mo akere o tlile le ditsebe tsa gagwe. Hey, le tlile le ditsebe tsa lena so le nebe le thieleditse ka sepedi sa manete ba re ba le ba thieletse. So MEC has allowed us to take a couple of questions. Let's use the opportunity. If you have a question, if you have an issue that the MEC has spoken about, she spoke about the whole cluster. And she was able to then drill down to say, in this cluster, again, if you are in that industry, you have been trying to get assistance from any of the departments within the economic cluster. This is your opportunity to ask. The officials, they are here. And what I want Osmudieru to do, just before we go on a tea break, is we're going to ask all the officials who are here from the different departments to introduce themselves so that re kgone go ba bona, re kgone go ba itse. Ha re ya go tea breaking, re apare di mask tsa rona, re kgone go get our issues resolved with them. Because that's part of the reason why we are here. So I'm going to allow 4 questions, ne? 4 questions, comments. Has it that opportunity to sell your business? 1, 2. The opportunity to sell your business. 3, 4, OC. Okay. Woo. I was bullied when I was a child. So the minute motor, maybe I need to get a coach. A coach can come and coach me out of the trauma of being bullied all the time.
And then if you compare to other company, if I say 1 minute, you have a question, you have a comment, let's keep to that. Like if I gave you an opportunity in the morning to tell us about your business, only 5-7 people came. So we are going to respect the time of the agency. She said she's going to give us a couple more questions. Let's
Thank you very much again, Program Director. You can see now that I'm smiling. Two things, my wonderful MEC and my sister. One, the Premier had said we must be united as women. I think we are ready, Premier. I've got Tombi's numbers, I've got Fazile's numbers. We will engage. I'm a person of action. And secondly, you told us what you wanted to hear. That's why I was here. I wanted to hear what you've been saying. We're gonna action what you have said. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My comment is for the Department of Education. I think 2 years ago when the program started, the Sanitary Dignity Program, we were taken for a workshop, taught how to tender, even though some people had already been through that journey. And unfortunately, when the tender was advertised, it was so unrealistic. Number one, we are small business. We don't have the capacity. Babatla gore o provide from the whole value chain. Tell me how possible and how practical it is. You must have, you must manufacture, you must distribute, you must, what was the other? You must have ways to dispose the used sanitary pads, the warehouse, which was practically impossible. So I'm glad you just explained the tender is not yet out. Please, when the tender is being made, please take a note of these concerns so that because this is a program for women. This is a program for people with disability, so and youth as well. And we'll really appreciate if those concerns can be taken care of. Secondly, it's just a comment actually for all the SMMEs. Can we stop being in isolation? Are we collaborating? You know, for example, Batuba construction, conveyancers, architects can come together, stock and stock, and by that way we can be powerful, because when we are together and we come with one voice, then we can be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, MEC Hubua. I actually heard you on Mutsuding the other day. I was like, oh my gosh. So I do organic beauty products. And when I first started, I was actually selling essential oils from a company called Young Living, and it's an international company. And when I did research about essential oil farming, it's not owned by a lot of people. The Land Reform Department, how are essential oils farmed, and can I get land to actually do that? And that's when the advertisement came. So my question is basically, how do I get into essential oil farming? Because I've done the research, but when I speak about organic products, they tell me that I belong to beauty, and there's a whole lot of red tape on that. And my product's organic, which makes sense to be in the agriculture sector because it's all plant-based. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, MEC, for the opportunity. I have a few questions, but I'm going to try and be as quick as possible to cover my 1 minute. I'm from the tourism sector, but I want to ask, there's a problem, MEC, in terms of government not collaborating. Each and every department is working in isolation. You will send a proposal to sports, arts and culture. They will tell you, no, you guys are talking tourism, we're not doing tourism. If we get, I like the economic cluster, how you've presented. If we can get economic clusters, talk to all these MECs and then encourage them to say these are feeding off each other, so that when somebody sends the proposal, we're saying sports tourism or you're saying agri-tourism, they must know that that is still part of tourism. We're not working in isolation. So that needs to be addressed effectively. And then how are we going to measure? I know your department is measuring how they're doing the 40%. Is there a standard where we can go back and say, prove to us that you're giving women 40%? Because when they give you a travel booking where Cape Town, we support the women once in a year. We don't want that. We need a structure to say, when we're going back to each department, to say, let's see, where are you in terms of, like Premier was saying, we need to be accountable and make sure that people are accounting. Maybe if you can share the strategy or how we can look at that. Red tape. In terms of the financiers, I know they will talk, they're coming in the in one of the talks, they can reduce the red tape. Somebody can have land, somebody can have an idea in terms of, but they will tell you about 1,000 miles or one other things that you might not have. We're all coming from COVID, and they wanting, if you want to do something for your business, you want to finance your business, for a mere contract that you want to finance that business, but they will tell you about 5 other things that you can't afford, and you end up losing contracts. And I'm talking for not only women in tourism, but all other women, they are affected by such issues with financiers. And last one, communal land. We're trying to develop rural areas. I'm one of the people from the rural areas, we've got communal land, MEC. And to develop communal land is a problem. How do you assist people that are running in communal land? We've done a research, there's land available, the tribal office is willing to give the land, but they are saying they can't give you the land for 5 seasons, you can only get the land for 1 season. The bank says we can only finance you if you've got a PLU for 5 years or more. Please assist in that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. MEC Dumelang, Kenda Minki from JV Max Municipality in Potchefstroom. For 1 minute, Mama, for that 1 minute, Kerata fela go leboa MEC ka mo go o presentileng your department ka teng. I wish nkabe o gona hore o tsene to each and every municipality and run what you have just said. Because what we are saying, the municipalities, the LED offices in the municipalities are not practicing that, which is a problem. So besides the struggle of the green scarf that I'm wearing, there's so many things that a woman as a multitask person can do. But now refer like our municipalities. You mentioned, you touched 2 things, if I'm not mistaken, empowerment. Can you guys, or can you please, MEC, ask, the LED offices in our municipalities to empower women empowerment, right? Because as a woman or a multitasker, for a living, as long as you struggle to get a success, to get a life somewhere. Mama, how to start the program? You said women are it's because of the struggle that we are in. We are struggling. So MEC, 2 weeks back I was in Matlosana where the Minister of Small Business, Mr. Landabeni, are willing a collaboration. Our women, we must collaborate. We must collaborate for a living. What I'm going to make it. You cannot make it alone. But now we collaborate. Where are we going? Because I have money too, so that's where now it leads to the GBV. Right, because I in a direction. Agriculture. A year back, I went to ARC in Potchefstroom. ke re ke kopa go venture into this department a ke easy mara ke kopa go tsena mo farming le direct and the stuff ba mpoditse gona ke na le eng what do I have in my hand? I mustn't come to the office and say ke batla go venture then a ke na next ba re go go reka dinku tse pedi kapa dikolobe tse tharo then ke tla go bona ke ba bontshe tsona ke tlo go nka ka tšhelete ya go di reka MEC ya bobedi 1 minute ya fela ya okay ya bobedi ka spiti ke ya Port Hospital. I want to mention this. Port Hospital in 2018 ke tsamaya le mme o mongwe re lo kopa gore ge ba thusa go ba tlhatswetsa di-liniane tsa bone ba re ba kry-a di-service provider from Joburg. That's what they told me nna mo ba boleletse nna so go hlotse ke go tlhatswe go ba tlhatswetsa di-liniane. We are planning gore re ka batla I mean maybe contract le the dry clean e nngwe. In the meantime re batla go ipankanya ka the other side. They told me straight gore people ba ba thusang ka go tlhatswa liniane tsa bona the Port Hospital by that particular person in Joburg. So liaba reface. So to those things in the MEC Kubana untu se kito tla wena kito ka di number. Thank you.
Dumela mogolo ga le bogile mme MEC nna ke beile fa ke presence go rilo namela podium ke go change atmosphere. We thank you for that. I love the empowerment that you're giving us. Now I'm mostly into caterings and I've been farming the traditional way, but ke khona go kopana le batho ba agriculture, I know where to go. But my main concern is that as women, I want to venture into construction. We don't know where to go. We knock, we just keep knocking, we go everywhere. South Africa, we need more projects to fix our roads. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, this is the last mama that I'm going to take. Nekite 3 people so the officials address a question officially. 30 seconds.
Thank you so much, MEC. Na kemo sawiki mama. Rekopaela kore kade kemo sawiki. I'm sure it's 8 years. Marakiski fumanela subcontract. Rekopaela kore abare group yourself. We have grouped ourselves. We are organized. We momulao everything. Marakona no waisuruki ushara fa usu yetse. Kona no kimo forever living. Usharafa, prefer Ohono Kreya, Chelete, register Mosawik 1,000 every year, with the child's play. But we're trying our best. Let me go to the organized group so that the government will recognize us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, ne wa itse basadi ba kopana go shota fela di savana a ke rena monatenyana ke freitaga wa bona what I will do now I will talk to your so that ka re premier ha go file task why follow up gore what is happening. I'll talk to you, I'll phone your and ask him what is happening ka project ya ko stadium so that you are able to be assisted. Ngwanaki agriculture in a little commodity study specified for your owner. You might be making a facial oil, garden natural herb. What you must do, you must come to us the product that you use for that facial facial oil. You'll find that we are able, because organic farming, you'll find that you can do them yourself, or we can get a farmer who supply you with the original that what you want to use for your product. But as for essential oil, we need to beauty our rona ready primary producer that will ultimately come to the oil. And then government not collaborating. Now, bare ga ke sharp, bare a ke na problem, a ke sharp, nna ke mistress, nka nna ka boela ko sekolong ka ile go ruta gape. But the fact of the matter, our officials, they treat our people very badly. And I always tell them, these are our clients. If this client were not there, you were not going to have that salary that you are getting every month. You get into an office, you know, I'll give you this typical example. Human settlement. Human settlement. We wanted to make an establishment. So why this construction is not taking off the ground? But EIA. Okay, mpendi number za motho dilanga selo se ba dimpa. Ke a mo founela, ke re dumela mmaleka a re teng. Ke re o tshware EIA ya go kae kae. RA. Ke re mmena tlo tsa sebaka se skana kang ka yona. Are I still to look into it? I will take 21 days. Ebe ke enough. Ke re o bua le MEC mo hono. God, I'm giving you a week. I want that report on my table. I don't have to explain who am I. Because if this person knew who I'm the MEC, you would have done things differently. But no, it's true. They are our families. Most of them, they are our families. They treat people very bad. But as government, we will enjoy collaboration. The Premier, among other things, when you listen to the Premier's budget speech yesterday, he spoke about how people want to invest. One company wants to come and invest 7 billion here in Moses Cotton, and you can imagine how many jobs. Other mines are prepared to collaborate with government. But in collaboration on, for an example, you must be able to know sector somehow, for an example, issue linen is a social cluster. Address. But the question here is economic development, SMME. In grooming SMME, hale bone phatla ya gore le ka ilo tlhatswa di linen tseo. Mem Emosenugi. And now only funda from SMME go le regular machinery like SEZ that you are going to establish here. You have a factory and a washing machine 30 tona that the industry, lady iron 30 tona that the industry. There's no need for the shitty you are to go Gauteng, leka di etsa mo gae. That's how it link. So health is co-social cluster, economic cluster. But you see how it linked with economic cluster. So those are some of the things that going forward we must correct, and our officials must be able to understand. How are we going to measure 40%? For example, Ronako Agriculture, about 35 in our database who are doing business with us. Now you look, Rona, what we have done, how we came up with the 20.26% to date. Our women, we are giving 20.26%. We take the total amount of the budget and the amount of women, and we are able to say, out of 100%, 20.26% have gone to women contract. So which means women are still at 20.26%. That's how we measure it and how we got to know how do we get to 40%. We will look at the whole budget that we have, yadi project and everything, and say, Renali 10 rand, yadi project. 40% must go to women. So we must calculate it in figure. The HOD this year, only figure, how many millions. Already we have calculated those millions out of our budget. So much millions, they go to women because that's the 40% that our women qualify in our department. That's how we hey, ya red tape memula hakitur batla gore re go policy conference ro go etsa gape gore there is a red tape in dealing with things. Sometimes for me it's unnecessary. Protocol is important, but sometimes it delays a lot of things. You see, and sometimes as politicians, but I don't understand. For an example, I once asked them a simple question. Why Baba the committee specification evaluation why Baba masane mo room nngwe ha ba fetse ba neletsane ba bang ka mo room nngwe ha ba fetsa ba neletsane la point? Why do you have to take 6 months? Why do you have to take so many months? So this is something that will take long, and I'm not sure. Issue ya LED. I've been going around the province meeting LED, MMCs, agriculture, human settlement. The reason for doing that, remember now government is using a DDM model. One plan, one budget. We want one plan and one budget. So we will, as we go to, we will be having a technical monthly meeting and quarterly political meeting. In those meetings, we'll be able to say, Halenali issue in terms of giving training, because training is being funded. This Northwest Bakaitsu, Chalataya di Sita, Ebua Fel, Harekri, because Haridi Risi. We don't use SITA money in the Northwest. So we will talk to them, check on your women in business, the skill that they need together. How do we join hand DDM model to make sure that we give them the training? I'll raise it with the Munimec. We call it a Munimec at some stage. Agriculture, you have something. Oh, okay. No, me abu fela na abu fela kuri lema communal. What you do, how lema communal? Otunzo create a council resolution ya komutsi. Marlebana, they must have an understanding that the investment that you are doing, it won't yield profit within a short space of time. At least, for an example, government set up for 30 years. You know within the 30 years you can buy your own farm. But when they give you 1 year, it doesn't work well. This is what we want. They will take decision for you. The least you can do, give us 20 years at least, because don't give me 5 years because I won't make any profit out of that land. But you can be assisted, because one of the requirements, we've learned our lesson the hard way. We gave people project, they died because those people eat nearly manna from heaven. So how to go corona? Or talk about something. For an example, kinale food security program ya go fa bo medical. How to go na ke batla official ona di go tse pedi. How about a puri kwat official ona le puri one? How's not next? It become difficult. I don't trust you, or you'll take care of that investment. So they were correct. You must have started something. Yes. And then you are able to say, and then we are able to come in. That's the approach that we have taken, because we have wasted money of government. Structures are dilapidating. A lot of things have gone fella. Government no, as we engage, they will unpack the program. We are aware. They are very bad. But Minister
you know, I wish when I get into events like these where you meet the MEC who are developmental and radical, you know there is hope. So without wasting, so what I'm going to do is we are getting a list of all the officials that are in the room so that we can introduce them, so that and get the assistance. What we're going to do is I'm going to take MEC Buitumelo Moilwa wa Department of Social Development. She's then going to give us just a brief social cluster. We've just received economic cluster. So now we are going to hear what are some of the programs, what are some of the opportunities that exist within the social cluster, and then we'll get an opportunity to also just ask her some questions, and then we're going to get opportunities. You know what I love about this program is that we've got people, just like June, there's a tender that's coming out. So prepare yourselves. And one of the things, you know, can I just use my 1 minute as a program director? Yeah. What we have realized, there's one lady who came here and said, "By tlabile together this tender," and it makes it impossible for a Northwest company to participate. For Limpopo, the same sanitary dignity program is implemented by a company that's based in Cape Town. The whole of Limpopo, they couldn't find a woman-owned business because by tlabile together, you must have waste management, you must have manufacturing, you must have a warehouse, you must have this, the whole value chain, one company. So if you want to really empower women, you break it down. Whoever transport, whoever manufacturing, whoever workshop, whoever branding, whoever. So once I can PhD, mara ke no ra gore advice from me. MEC.
Dumelang bomme le bontate ba batlileng gore support ka gore nna ke ko social development me mohono a ke tse tshono e ke go dumedise ke be ke dumedise premier o se tsaile le menkotswe but ma councilor le nteng fa if ba le teng le bone ba itse re ba dumedisa ke dumedise bontate ba batleng gore supporta re le bomme ke ne ke tsena mo ntlheng eo before ke dumedisa the most beautiful queens in this room gore bontate ba batleng gore support gantsi nna ka gore ke ko social development ke ba bolela bomme mo ono gore you know what re lebala bontate re lebala bana ba bashimane nna ke na le bana ba bashimane fela so ke ba bolela ke re you know what is the problem ka GBV bana ba bashimane ra ba neglecta re shebile di queen tse tsa rona. It's not wrong go sheba di queen mare ba ha re ba neglecta ke bo mang di perpetrator at the end of the day e ba bona. So re tshwanetse se tlhare se sa bashimane ba banyane ba re se nosetse sentle re se natshare gore ha gola re tlo go bolaya a kre ha re godisa ngwana moshimane sentle ha go e go na le GBV because tla be re godise ngwana moshimane sentle. So once we neglect this young boy re tlo feletsa ntse re nna le yone problem e. So nna ke rotloetsa bomme everywhere go tsamang ko teng le bontate gore ha ona le ngwana le nna o sa nyala e le ngwana moshimane a go nna teng once a while o gone go nthusa go mo godisa re mo tsenye mo line ha se gore ha o tla ka re o nyale ngwana batho ya no ne ke re rona re le bomme re godisa bana ba re le nose ba bashimane. So ne ke re a re tshwareng tipa eo ka fa bogale a re simoleng go concentrate mo go bone ba banyane ba ba rona ba South Africa will be a better place because ba tla itse gore bana ba ba setsana rona re le bomme ka gore matsatsi a bana ba banyane ba re ipa le bagolo ba bola le bo mama bone ba bola le bo kwa bone. So ha o godisitse sentle ha nkitla re be re na le matata. So ne ke re fela ke latlhele mo go rona bomme ba rona ba besaga mayanga yanga le nteng ka mo abesaga le borre ba ba le nteng ka mo gore ba tlo gore thusa go thusana le ntwa e re shebile rona re tsore matata mantsi re le bomme. So ke simole fela ka yona e gore ba gaetso a re lebeleng bana ba rona ba bashimane please toho a re se ra ba neglectang a re tlogeleng gore ngwana moshimane a tshwantse a lla utlwe botlhoko bore o monna wa tshwanela go lla ke rona re senyang seso se re se ba ngwana motlhang a bestang o tsa thipa wa go tlhaba because o ntse re ke monna ha tshwanela go lla ke motho wa nama le madi. So I ring a batla go lla nna ba ka ke ba bolela ke re o ka nna wa lla boy ke be ke lle le ene re fole ke re bua le nna re fetse because hantse re ba tlogella ntse re no monna a wa tshwanela go lla o tla llela ko ngwaneng wa motho mong o tla ya ko ngwaneng wa motho mong o tseile mathata a la tswa mo lapeng o le ha ka motena gawane wa mmola o makala gore ngwana ga go ya boleile ngwana mo so ne ke re fela ke re ke itse fa o ke re struggle for women se sentsi thata re simolola go bona re na le mathata ja premier na bua re na le mathata ha re fetsa ya no re ya go business ko rona re na le mathata mantsi thata o bone ka nako ya covid memohon. You know, when I was crisscrossing the province and you were part of us together with MEC for Health, the most affected people during that time were women. Because women are able to go and sell kutle memohonara hana liko skolo ali mistress natla rekisa so pisabat. The most affected people are women because women are able to sell. Nsikibona meofari akira limpi gore ke age sekolong yana or so ke feletsa ke re ke rekise this. You know, with what she is doing, she is even able to take her kids to school. Ona le bana ba ba graduating even amongst ourselves because our mothers were working in the kitchens kana kweu. Our mothers were selling vegetables and they were able to do that. So I'm saying to us, Memohono, as government, Kitsa fella from what the Premier said and yourself, that it is important that as women, we hold hands together and we don't do a pull-down syndrome because Yona is there, honestly. But if we can, you know, I was telling Memo kire ka go go rona ka go politiking ka kwa ha o lebella bo mme ke bona itlhele ba tletse le go di conference mara ha o re ra sheba rona self re tlhopa bontate ha re fetsa ra tla ra lla gape gore he ile rona re mos ke rona re tswang go dira x for bone. So it means women must stand up. Women must fight for their rights. It's now or never. It's getting worse by the day. I'm saying this because even at the level where we are fighting for our space. Ronaldo Memhon and Tombiwa Italian from the office of the Premier because it's not easy for us as women to get what we have to get. I don't want to get into the presentation too much that they have given me, but taking from what the Premier has said, and he actually instructed us go ex-cohore. You know what, alright, Hanare, when we were doing our APPs, APP ne ka re ha e mo fe tlhaloganyo sentonare ke kopa e boe o tlhagise gore bo mme wa go ba fa bokae. As a weaker percentage, abatla go itse budget ya department gore how empowerment ya bomme because from time immemorial, honestly speaking, we have been talking about this. When are we going to implement? When are we going to implement? Re tlo go dula re tla fantse ke utlwa a young person coming here, a young woman are Premier, you know mos go di masipala. They don't take us serious. You know, they're not going to implement. But as provincial departments, it's now or never because we are 6 and males there are few. Ne? In actual fact, we are 7 now. And then we have only 3 males. So it means, Haruna self, rekapalo ko empower women. It means retla mo and it's not right because Lona coming here, you expect a lot from us. From the Department of Social Development, because I'm representing the social cluster, which is education, social development, health, and sports, arts, culture, and recreation. But from the social development sector,
what I actually said to the officials was that, you know, this thing ya rona ya go tlola re ntse re bua fela is not going to assist. You will know that from social development, what we do, we only deal with cooperatives, SMEs, tsa di crash kutlwe memong a bua ka crash, a bua ka re bua ka di NPOs. And when we talk NPOs, you know, people don't understand, and Linda needs to understand until I came to social development, that in actual fact, NPOs, di ka kgona go re reliever go feta the way re batlang go aga, re tla re aga. Mare, NPO ke so se re se dirang every day in our lives. I'm saying this because ngwana ka mo next door, ha so re kitla nako ngwe khona go bona gore mama gage or ke a child-headed family, o khona gore o ba fe borotho, o khona gore o mo thuse o re o itse ngwana ka mo next door hana diaparo a ke tse di leng teng mo ke tsa khale mare ha di a gagoga ke mofe. You know, to us as social development, that's NPO. So it means this is something that we're doing every day. And people, ba shakitlola ke ba bolela ke re le tsa di NPO gore ha se so sa a ke re vele bophelo ke tšhelete. A gona gore ka tlhola ntse re dili dalia re 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 batla go volunteer, o tla volunteera go itla le molatse. O tshwanetse volunteer, but you must get something from that. So the NPO, when I arrived in social development, ke itle ka dira social development fashionable, but bana ba tsa gore ke a di Pampers. Somebody was saying to me, I fetsa go appoint yes, ba go isitse go department ya di Pampers ke re tla change re dire something else. When it was something else, ya no batho ba bang go ba e bonang gore kanti social development di tlalifile. You know, in the NPOs, I must tell you, NPOs who ha o tla go lebella database it lets ka makgo rona mmereko o dirang every day ha re kgone gore re formalize and mmereko wa o dira every day. I know women are doing that every day of their lives. Young women are doing that because bana le go thusa bana ka di homework, ba thuse bana ba bang ba re tlang re tlo go le thusa go le ruta this and that. That is an NPO. You just need to formalize that, come to social development, get funded. You know that fund, I was saying to the officials the other day that I want to see an NPO ya motho o montsho tshwana le nna nyana yana le yone e kgona go kreya 10 million ka jara. Do you know that ba gona le di NPO tse di kgona go kreya if kana ha o na le NPO o e formalize itse o kgona go dira SARS o patala dibuka tsa go di tsamaya sentle. You know that you will get that fund each and every year without fail. O kgona go kreya haiba ke 6 million every year without fail. Ha o lwanelele o pe gore tendera ke ne ke ra batho ke re hey ibile South Africa these days ale ka lebella other countries di control wa ke di NGO. Presidency knows they are controlled by NGOs and NPOs because the funds tsa bone they are guaranteed. Ela ha dirile dibuka tsa ge sentle fela, that fund will go there. They even get kana only NPO gona go kreya le shelter from lottery. You just apply, you get money from everywhere. So Rona, we must not narrow our minds to construction, to this and that study tender. As much as we are doing that, we can also tap into this because that is one thing that you are doing every day. It's something that you do every day. Social development will give you money for that. When you just have to put it on paper. Put it on paper. Hore nna ke na le bana ba 10 kiba. Ba 10 fela. Kiba. Bana ba di drugs kiba. We can't from time to time when we have our events get people from Gauteng. O fetsa go bua mme wa rona fa gore you know you talk of sanitary towels. The tender in not closed in such a way that how somebody from Western Cape. How that particular person is a white person? We put our Martins South Africa empower leader empower baron. So I'm just saying that from social development point of view, we have a budget that we have set aside to empower women. And in social development, what we do, remember we are also buying uniform. Uniform, we need it from our own cooperatives. What we are doing with Memo Senuri is that Orekrela market. Wari tusa go fanda rafanda le rona, but then what we do, ha rona social development re need a uniform. We go to those cooperatives sa rona tsa batho ba rona ba bomme, and then we buy from them. I was very much impressed kana go President Atlile. There's one cooperative there, Baruka need. And one thing that we need to do, bomme, as much as Rizana, Babandre more businessing, Babandre aspire on the business, women, which is good. Mar, the quality of the work that we do, Leruna self batumba mudimu, idira hore renyati weke batu. I want to make a typical example and memo on wa iti, but ngasi bui hore kiko kai wa iti elanka bua wikinga otla iti. Ukre me agree tenda yaho apea. Retsena ko di kopano from time to time. Hare yaho jadi jotsa Jesus. You know, I ate the first time. The second time, kirmarahagi direle meosent. Aki mubit. Kibeki mubita kidi busatse tsotle dijo. Ambosor ali sekere kirali tapo. Le sekere nyaya hadi monati. Abar ribiditso ka speed. But I knew in my mind hore how we need, but it's fine. I swing. I get empowered. I then said, no, you know what? Yes, honale dilo are khoni dilo tsotle. Go gongwe o itse go apeya betere go nkaisa na ke itse go cleaner, o mongwe o itse go aena, o mongwe o itse go tlhatswa. Akere modimo re file ka go se tshwane. That is why mo differently o mongwe batla mining, o specialize ka mining, o mongwe batla go dira linene, o mongwe batla go dira this. Akere o ka se itse dilo tsotle. I said to that woman Kare, you know what? How we really ask someone o itseng go apeya so that you are selling yourself. Haritle go ja mole re utlwa dijo tse di monate tse o di apeile ke a botsa ha ke tsamaile go na le event somewhere gore ke maona apeile kwa mutliseng kwano le rona tlo go rapela. So once o sa apeye sentle o dira gore rotle re yo o ska ba bua ka motho. Then that's what happened. Yesterday we could not even eat. Dijo tsa teng re be re sia re na re batlitse kampara bona kampara ya ku kae kae ra go batla dijo. And it's not nice. So I'm just saying that's just an example ya gore rona re le bomme le rona self I remember ko ru dire ka bonontlotlo. I know women that are in construction. By when I was acting mohon ko human settlement, gona le bo mme ba bantsi ba bana ba sa fetsa mebereko. Yes, some of them is because of that monopoly ya bontate ba itirela jaka ba batla ba sa mara some of them ha o lebella sentle le bona fela self ha shelte tsena e ya go go ngwana ke mo rekela se ngwana ke mo isa ke re batla go travela re batla go dira but I'm just saying these are some of the things that ha re tla le bo memohono because what we need to do like you know I wanted to talk about the from the presidency I wanted to talk about the presentation that was given to me but looking at the presentation and what is here it's only premier to say you know what we need to do in all fairness now I'm pleading with yourselves that soon very soon we must converge somewhere again with all these women. Each and every department, I know officials are here, but some of them did not come. Each department must say, from that meeting that you held, this is where we are. Re-empowerile bommeka budget ekan, because now we have passed the budget now. Asiki kima bana refeleleza go passa the budget that department. I can say in my department we have budgeted 20 million or 30 million for empowerment ya bomme. But nkabua no. After na go re tsamaile re sa fane ka di feedback. La go itse yang gore budget e ne ke bua ka yone. I kgonne go empower bomme. So I'm just saying and pleading that with all this and hearing what bomme bantse ba bua ona bua ke tsore ya health looking at the health issues ba bua ka tsona body linene gore ba empowerile bomme ba bakana but when you sit and listen to bomme ba bua you can realize gore mare gona le mo di officially di re gatisang panana te ya nna ke rata go gata di banana a ke rate go nna ke bala dilo bang kwaletse tsona ha ke tsontse ke tlo go la araba next because na ke rate maka ke tlola ke ba bolela gantsi ba re di politician di rata maka mara ke lemogile gore bomme ba di politician daram ba ke berekile le bone ba go di masipala ba bangwe ba ba nantse ba tla kana kwa rona maka ke ana le mauta makhutswana ke gwa ke tsa no ke re na le 30 million the next thing ha re tla next time ke ta ke re ha o sa tlhola le mo space se o bo tla go khopotsa gore o kila tla mo wa re empowerment ya bomme le tsore 30 million mara isi le di receipt le dirileng ka yone ke be ke sa tlhola ke itse ke panya ke tsore ya education mo education le bone ba bua ka mogho and which of course is what the premier have said about the dignity towers and we can't reduce bomme who deliver fela bare provided the dignity towels or the sanitary towels because now I've turned it into a dignity pack that you know we also need to take care of these boys. In social development, we put a dignity pack. For Mushimani, Shildi, and Ronaberi the dignity towels, the sanitary towels. But then, you can't reduce bomme. Produces its own, but the dignity in a pegs. Fair. Bomme baruna ha o rwa sheba ko education ke a bona ba bua ka di delivery tsa di kano ke nna gore ke le mmela le nna ya nswabisa gore ke tlo go bua ka di target tsa di sanitary towels ha ke re ke a lebela ha ke bona mo ba reng bomme ba agile dikolo that is why ke re wa bana yona le tlo go mpetsa le re mare me o a re tloela o tlo go re belela Hakuna di digna batho ba mo di ba ka di grade 4 learners di budget constraints ha ke batli dilo tseo ke re ke a sheba mo gore ba gile dikolo kae Bamplela ka di catering fela mo. Bamplela ka di dignity towels fela. Kirile ke a sheba man. So ha kire ke a bona gore ne it means rona re go social class thing. Re kopane ke tlo bolela chairperson na social class gore kom o batla go mplaisa ka bomme. Nna ke a bala dilo tsele tsa lona tsele. Ka gore ha kire ke a sheba tsa health le tsone ba bua ene ba etsa go nna exposed now gore gote ba tlhatswa go Gauteng. Ene yano nna ba nkwaletse mo gore ba ntse ba empower bomme. So it says to us as a social cluster, re tshwantse re dule go monate ka gore MEC Sambata is not far. Ke tlo mo fa report ke re ra dula re dira if presidency is a kgone go organize ka pele rona as a government ya mo Northwest, then we must do that. Re tlo go lebella gore this is how much we have put aside, because ne kere ke a lebella mo a ke bone memo no mo msho motsugilang a dilare aba mo fa tsona ke be ke re he ka re ha o shapo man la ban rumelletse mara ke a sheba mo le nna ke a bona gore ne a se dilo tse nkareng ke tlo go balla ke bolela bagolo ba lekana le lona when we are in trouble. So what I want to say to you, bomme, we are here to support you. I said it gona le ko ne ke le ko teng bana le gompitsene le ko kerekeng ke be ke ra bomme ba le kere ke kopa what you are doing now le kwalle ko department en re gone go le funda, because what we are doing is good. You know, as a woman, President was not wrong to say we want 40%, and we have been fighting for dilo tsa bomme for a very long time. Ke bona bomme ba bantsi ba ke ba itseng in business mo. Mare, can we say we have done enough? Or a little, even if not enough, but go itla fela mo kotara. Are we proud as we sit here or stand here to say we have empowered 3 women, they are millionaires? We can't. So it says to us as government, we must take responsibility of the past, of what happened as leadership. But in fact, also commit in this meeting in front of the president's office, to say the HODs are already thing, the officials are social cluster di temo. Ke kopa go ba bona. Health abateng. Emang ke le bone bana bese. Okay. Thank you very much. Social development. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Kata Batemba sports as abayo wabana ke tsaba go bua tsone tse be ke sala ke a tlhame di sala lene ba health ba temmo ba kae mang ke le bona ne ke ba emisitse education I'm sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Why is it Luna social cluster to say yes, we were here like Premier was saying, and yourselves, and it's good that you came. You said to us it was a short notice, and we then had to leave everything and come here. Yes, you came, and it's good that you came and you wanted to talk to women and us about what is happening in the province. We need to sit down as social cluster now. Those that are here for different departments, when women are raising their issues, let's take them. But now I must commit le memo to say, by not the end of June, we should be having something like this, a feedback session, because the most important thing is a feedback session, and it's a commitment to say, na ile gore ke empowerile bomme ba 5 ke bue, but ke khone go ke ska bomme ba 5 ba mo moye o itse batho ba ba di officials tla re empowerile bomme ba 5 ha o re wa ba batla ha ba yo ya no really tangible information to the presidency and say 10 years budget 18. I can commit and say that budget passes. All of us who were in the legislature, there's a budget for women in all the departments, and it's not like it's 5 million or 10. Kutule makoma ba bua di 50 million above. So it means there's that budget that is intended to assist women. So it means what we need to do, that's that. I'm sorry I couldn't go through this speech. Refillable meva 5 di sanitary towels, body provide refillable meva 10 yes, you can do that. Fun sanitary towels catering. But for a department like education or for a department like social development, we can't be talking that. We can't really be talking that. How much was used for that? How do I share out of 50 million, could 10 million or 5 million for boom mebao? That is why then the presidency comes in to say, but there's something wrong somewhere. So it means what we need to do, bomme, ke gore ke ska tla mo ke be ke tla go bua di political statement ke la ke na khono go ka re le bana ba ka bana le go ke a tshaba le go ka ba shimane a khono go ka sebaka ba bona o ta go botsa mama malo ba o rile ya no ibile ba matsatsi a rona ke re ne re sa botse batsadi bana ba rona rotlhe mo bana a o mlela selo are why when how mo promise selo are when abari pinky promise o itsuru mo mathateng so nna ke se ke phela bophelo bo ba gore you know I do pinky promise to the communities to say and keep when where you understand ke ska tla go passa di political statement be ke tsama the officially because we still have those officials in our departments that are dedicated, and we say we clap hands for them because they are there in all the departments. The only thing is that we have those ones. That's why in social development and in health, I normally say, you know, as working in social development, a person who comes to our offices is a person who is already stressed. Amutu atla go ikwadisetsa di social grants. Wena o bo mo khisa. Atla na le stress, kuru wa re ntota. Ha ke tla ko hospitala bravan tlapile. O bo batla go tla go nkgisa. Or ke ya ko police station ke batla go bula case. O kuru wa re. But we still have those that are dedicated, to be honest. So I'm saying to us, as a rep of social cluster, I'm committing to these women and officials in front of the male counterparts that are here, that what the Premier has said is going to be implemented. We're going to have asking from you that even if you don't, all of you come, but you must just come and get that implementation report that from the 50 million that I said I'm setting aside as social development for women, this is what I've done. So that if there are challenges, then we are able to say, women, ki empower relate to me mare. the challenge ke 1, 2, 3. So it means or we need then to reconsider what we were doing. So I'm just saying to yourself, it's unfortunate that the report that was sent to me in the early hours of this morning, when I look to it, is not relevant to what my expectation to say, kana utabo phone le maabane gore mphang then the presentation. So when you go through the presentation, wa bona gore ha gona se se buang ka bo mme ba nna ke yang go go bona. Si buela ka gore ba bolela background and ke ratile the way you address it. When I came here, ke go kreile ore a ke batli di background. Ha o tla mo bua gore ke eng se ke tlo go se direla bo mme. Ke tswere bokae or ke empower le bo mme ba bakae. So I'm just saying that we're doing district development model. Ki utlwile question e buang ka working in silos. We are biki trying to deal with that district development model. That is why the cluster, at times we sit the whole exco as a joint cluster so that we work closely related, because if Honale Kokisonski donated ki batla nna ke gona di food parcels, but then ki tapa iniko agriculture gore mpatlele ko nka kreyang di veggie o gona go mpa. But also not that, we have also got into a partnership ya gore atle ang trainele ba ileng gore batla dira ko agri. I also have a budget. So that budget doesn't mean sonso re dire fela di social work. Re batla ba ba yang ko agriculture, ba ba yang ko construction, ba ba yang ko this and that. There's that budget. So ki bua le Department of Agriculture gore lona ka gore ke space sa lona. Here are these students, re ba fa bursary, ba training. And then for construction, here are these students, I have a budget, do that. And also, me ke re fela ke re le mining, na ke itumela gore raitwanela, and se premiers buileng ki se itumela tata, because we even went to the women's charter last week Sunday. It was very cold. I was impressed to see women ba tlile go tla go bua ka ditshwanelo tsa bone. But it doesn't end there. Are eng go lwanela all the space tse di leng teng, but being organized, because ha re tshwaragane ka matsogo ra gona go itlhella se re se batlang. Mme mohono wa itse gore gantsi kutlwe mme mo ha tswa fa nna ke batla number ga go tla go founela. We do take calls, we do re be re go referela go officing e le maleba. Ha go na le dilo tse di buang ka ene mme mohono ba banga ke re tla ba tshaba go bua le ene or ba banga tshaba go bua le nna. Ha o buile le ene o di fitisetsa go go nna ke tsweletsa pele. So I want to encourage you to say that our doors are open, and the President's office to say we really appreciate the initiative that you have done together with the Premier's office, to say all of us must come. COVID in territory ka di watching ha re tlo tlhala re bua ka COVID nna ke lapile re ntse re dira gore batho ba rona ba nne ba je ko di dustbin ba sokole ntse re COVID ko di department ha e tlhole e bereka ke a rona re phela le yone, therefore a tšhelete le yone e bereke. Ai yo taba gore re tlhole re itshwareletse ka COVID ha e mo go rona ke re phela le yone. So ishapo re tshwarana le yona, a se tle tshwara rona re tshwara le rona self ka di washing. Re tla tshwara le rona musito o tswela pele di budget tse di leng go department tsa rona must be utilized for purpose ya go empower bomme. Rona le lona re simonye na ki pa mo pele ga lona ke re a re eng ko pele bomme. You must step into security. Bomme ba tsaba go tsana go di security. Ke itse few of you ba ba tlhola ba na le gore mme moilwa mara ha ke re ke a lebella mono ba ba bedi ba ba raro hela ipotsa gore ba bang ba tshaba go nna le security company wa bona gore re tshaba go ya ko di-spaceng tse ding a re tseneng ko di-spaceng tse batho ba naganang gore ang kitla re ya ko go tsone call buang re le thuseng re le feng batho. This theme must end ya gore bomme ba dula ba beilo ko morago na no yana ki bua bommela wa itse ha o le re ke re ke mata ka o shapo ke go support mare ni no ni ke shebile bomme no wena khale o kreya ha ise wena bo mata ba gago bo papa go bo tata bo mamba ko khalna khale ba kreya or bo mata ba gago kwa ke bo brother ba gago le bo re botle ene la tshwarana ene one thing that lastly that hale ka ilebella ya bontate ba botlhale wise ba lwana ha re na le bona le ba lona ba di business ba lona le bona o tla bona mo meeting go na le di heated debates o bona gane gore ba lwana. You know what they do after that meeting? Ba kopana go restaurant ba dira dili ba go kwalla ko ntle so rona tsontse re nne ya no re nne botlhale gore ha ba re left o ye right o tla makala ba kra ba eme ko right mo ba o tsa kganti le rile left lona le ya ko right so ke rona ba rotlhe mo so ba lwana ba tlogele ba lwane dintwa tsa bana sa ra di tsena man a re ska tla re tsena dintwa tsa borre. Let's empower ourselves now from social cluster. This is the commitment that we are making. We are going to give a concrete report on how many women have we empowered and how many do we intend empowering. Yes, there are some of the slides that are talking about that, but I'm not impressed in terms of nakibata rents and cents. To say, are 5 million, are 10, scarare 50% or 10%. 10% so thank you very much for the opportunity that was given to us as a social cluster, as government, to engage with yourselves. Let's proceed, let's continue to hold hands. Let's fight this thing, gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, drug abuse, let's deal with that. And go to social development in your offices, in your different areas. Baba khonang go thusa bana ba di drugs. There's a budget that is there for yourselves. Are tsamayen re tap into that budget so that you empower your communities. All the problems na di office tsa rona tla ke bara ke re office ya ka e kare ya general doctor, because everybody had ba cure batla go bua, but that's the way to go, because ha di officials di sa ba thusi batla diraya, they must just come to my office re khona go thusana tse re sa khone go thusana ka tsona re di bua tse re khona re di bua. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, MEC. Thank you, MEC. MEC mo ila re leboga. Na ke rata batho ba ba honest. Wow. Because there was an opportunity or a fihle mo a re balle so. Bare. So I love the fact that you respected bomme enough, MEC. Gore o be honest o re bolelle gore ntwe ba ngwadileng mo ha se ntwe ke batlang go bua ka yona. So ha ke tsebe gore gona le, I'm just going to allow 2 quick questions. I wish we had a roving mic so that when people don't have to come to the front. 1 question, 2nd question. How official when? Oh, official. How official? Oh, okay. Ke kopa le tleng ka pele le tlo botsisang di question tsa lona. We're running out of time. So there is a Hona le Ausma Tsidiso Jansen Moase. Okay. Ausma Tsidiso, I think also ubone how the brief is going. Ne? Hore women are saying, where are the opportunities? What are the opportunities? When are they coming out? Where's the information in order for us to participate? So, both strategic objectives, little aims and goals, little you'll send us the presentation. But let's just focus on Hore. I get provincial procurement opportunities for the Northwest Province. Also called Treasure. So got Treasure. I get that's where all the APPs go. And that's where they then look at the APPs and then they give, Treasury then gives them the money again. So, give one a repository that knows who is doing what and which tenders are coming out and when are they coming out. Again. So, I know that I'm giving you maybe 5 minutes as we are taking the questions and comments to just maybe reshape your presentation along those lines. I want to find out if Ndate Herima Shao Ude. Okay. So similar brief, Ndate Mashao. But we'll take the questions quickly for the ABC. Give about 1 minute, 1 minute.
Santlane ke re na le dikgang tse dintsi re na le dipotso tse dintsi tse ne re le mo ntweng yaanong puso e nile botlhale gore biletsa bomme ba babedi ba re palwang ke go kore bane tiro ya bone ba e dira be rest assured ke sone se re palwang ke go rile re tle re lwa mare yaanong ba re tliseditse ba ba wrong re paola ke go ba bitsa bo comrade ka gore le tloga le re ke ya ba buella ka gore ke wela ka fo mokgatlong wa bone mare ba dira and then se ke neng ke tla ka sone fa bomma ke ne ke re o ka re baeteledipele ba rona all the departments ra go nna fa re bua ka empowering women because re amogele sa ntlha gore because we've been previously disadvantaged re palelwa ke go meet di requirements tse dintsi tse di tlabeng di batlagala gore whether re batla go docha o yang mare ga go tese sa batlagala se batlagala and e le gore ga re kgone yaanong ke ne ke re ke advice nyana ga ke tsora batla e tsaya ya ka ke ne ke kaile ke re nile ke nile o mongwe ba fortunate go ka tsena mo spacing sa ko mining ke ba bona se ba se dirang ba pateletsa motho o na le bokgoni go join venture le o snang bone ga re batla go sapa ga re se re batla go sapa MEC ga re se re batla go sapa re batla JV because mo JV wa go tswa o godile ga o le grade 1 wa go tswa o le grade 2 or o le grade 2 o ya go grade 3 so re kopa gore mo go bone ba makgoa a le borre ba ileng khale ba le mo spacing sa whatever ga atla le mofatiro mokhuruthamaga tswetswe le pateletse JV ya gagwe le mme o mongwe that is the only way ra go kgonang go gola e be re feleletsa re ikemetse ka gore ya no ra go ntse re bua ka gore ra go godisa basadi ga le na be le kgona go le godisa ke a leboga
Dumelang bagolo le bontate ke tle go emela youth thata ka bomme young women in business bagolo re tsena dikolo mme re tshaba le go fetsa because ga gona mmereko ka lina ke nna o nkabetse ke gakilwe ke tswa go Dr. RSM Mompati ke tla go addressa business sector ya security ke na le registered security business le go sira ke na le dipampiri ke na le go gotlhe ke compliant ke tshwere business plan e breakdown down the financials mo gotlhe me I've been knocking but there's no door opening sector ye kere e male dominated so how do we stand for women re sena mabati oh mama MEC how do we embrace independence when our elders underestimate our capabilities? Re santse re khona go tshwara thipa ka fo bogaleng mme ga rena tshono. Please assist ka direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think one needed to say, as government, we really need to say, in terms of the JV, everything that we do, we must force these big companies, like in health. In health, the big companies, the supplier coal, the linen and all those. So it says to me, go social cluster, but also go exco. We must sponsor that to say whatever in a big business, reinforce joint ventures. Rona at times, because we are not in that space, subcontracting. But these things. But the last one, Warunali security company. Okay. The one, I think what we can do is to say that in social development, we deal with that. Renality area said in Tinsi. Kibatla kidire example ka wena next time be kiba bonsa ki go emisa mo kere kio ki mo empowering. So I will need to get your details, Mama, so that then in front of everyone that in our next batch, Baba Tlong Khotsena for security, yours will be part of that. So you are, I'm starting now, a practical example. So bring your things, then we'll talk to them. They must make sure that they empower you. We want young people also to be empowered, because Sabo fellow Nartoksama, Bomama, Batlokala Legacy Mobane. So haru narsate banababone serious, batlo impact akai knowledge. So let me do that, let me commit. Otlabablela na go ritlile gore wena o setse o khone go tsenanyana o create that exposure ya gore security re tla bua la dirile diposo tsa tsile re tla gore ijo moto metlola e dirile martla mo empower. It's fine. Let me commit in front of our national leadership here to say that this one, social development, we will empower you, and then that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, hola what to man. Unfortunately, because Mara, I think this is it's just encouragement. When you come to a platform like this, use the opportunity. I get. So, I believe, I want to believe, for the officials it's a linding more today. Get the officials it's a premier na buangaton. Those ones that are hardworking, that are passionate about their work, and that they would want to see this project. So I'm going to get that list. As I'm waiting for the list, like another, I get to be however many minutes. Because Haraka break, I feel like we're going to break the momentum and then other people are going to leave. So bear with me. If you need a body break, stand up. 2 minutes. If you need to go to the ladies, go to the ladies or the gents and then come back. We've got Provincial Treasury, we've got Office of the Premier, the Chief Procurement Officer is here. So, Lunaka Velabali ring qualifier from a compliance perspective. He's then going to talk around all of those issues. So, under normal circumstances, how this event works, MEC. ke gore re tla le di stakeholders, re tla le di, and I think Aus Namhla spoke a little bit about gore re tla le bo Standard Bank, bo Absa, bo Old Mutual, Masisizane, NEF, SIFA, all the financing institutions. Because one of the other issues that women are saying, bana le bothata ke gore sometimes we then get the project, harna chelete. So we then are saying we want to connect all the dots. For how tsamaya o skebe wa tsamaya or okay, now ke ausi ke tshwere security project, I need to go and get the security cars or a uniform for my security, ha ke na chelete. So ke kopa le bear with me. I've got Siziwe, who normally is my co-pilot, but because today flight there on us, re ko moruleng la itshigisa so le ra re jiga ko mogwasa. So ne tshwanetse ke be ke mo file gore a take over mara yano nna le na re tla bona gore re fana yang. So she's going to come, and she comes from NEF, National Empowerment Fund, and she's going to talk about some of their products that funds women in business. And then we've got one of our other stakeholders, SIFA, who talks about the track program. Yeah, township. Every time I go deep plaguing, but complainer, but she then covers. Our stakeholder is CIPC, and that you go over like 3 minutes or so, because most of the women that are here have got registered companies. So you go para ska thoma ngo morago as if re bua le bo me ba sa registerang di company ke re santse re ba bolella ka di CK1 le di CK2 ke go para thome mo di annual returns and then talk to them about how that needs to be done. Le gore how na le company every year, so you must report to CIPC, you must send a report, otherwise o tla re o tender for business ba ba go bolella gore your company highly registered. So those are some of the things that, and normally re tla le SARS, I get to SARS thing now today, because le bona ra ba 3 minutes gore ba bolella what are those important things that women need to do on an annual basis in order for them to keep their compliance. But another thing ke gore ha go na le di questions tse ngata tsa SARS, they normally have a van e batlang ka yona ka montle.